Welcome to Dip a Toe. This is going to be a really interesting show this evening. We have a stellar lineup for everyone. Tonight we're talking about the first ledger and this XRP meme frenzy that's going on right now. We have a stellar lineup guide us through this crypto odyssey that's happening right now. We have the insightful, optimistic Prime, the innovative Keda, the savvy Brooke, the sharp Stephanie, and the strategic Landon. Later, we'll have the ever intriguing Mr. Man. And who knows, we might even have a few others that are going to surprise us and show up. So we're going to dissect this latest craze in the digital asset space and, see how things go. So bring your curiosity and get ready to dip a toe into the future of finance. How's everybody doing this evening?
I'm doing okay. We are expecting possible tornadoes, so if I have to duck out, you know where I'm at. But other than that, it's a great evening.
Yes, absolutely. How you doing, Keta?
You know what? I am doing very well. It has been one heck of a start of the week. Um, yeah, lots of stuff going on. So no complaints though. No complaints.
Life stuff.
Welcome, ladies. Great to be back with you all.
Yeah. Miss Optimistic Prime is indisposed at the moment, but she'll be joining us shortly. How are you doing, Island Ghost Stephanie?
I'm hanging in there. Sorry again. I gotta keep my screen off. I have not been feeling well. I might mute a few times. I've been coughing a lot, but I've been just playing with this first ledger, learning some stuff. I've learned a lot this week on learned a lot about AMs. We've been having a lot of good streams. We did a stream with Helvet that lasted for like 3 hours, and we had the antidote people in there talking about stuff. So yeah, it's been a lot of learning going on. I think around the new meme craze. So that's good.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna definitely dive into it. How are you doing this evening, secret weapon, Mr. Landon? How are you?
Doing well. I'm like Stephanie. I've been fighting a stomach flu and cold, so we'll see how it goes. So, my daughter's a substitute teacher, so she likes to bring home the germs. So,
Ah,
unfortunately, that's happening. But I'm happy to be here with these fine ladies here to discuss all things crypto and probably some other interesting topics as well.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to talking about it. So, those of you that are in the crypto community, especially particularly those that are on X, there's been this new development in our community with this first ledger bot and being able to create meme coins, and people are learning about this for the first time. I actually had Amanda, Optimistic Prime, walk me through it the other day, and kind of dipping my toe into it. There she is. But as I'm thinking about it, I've was listening to a bunch of spaces over the last couple of days and getting different perspectives. And of course, everyone has a different opinion about the reasons, like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? And so I really started thinking about it, and I thought, why do people buy meme coins? What is the reason for a meme coin? And I thought about it, and there's the community and fun aspect of it. Meme coins tend to have vibrant, enthusiastic communities, and they provide a sense of belonging and entertainment. And so they kind of enjoy being part of a shared joke, or just being part of a trend. And then you have a big part of it is the speculation of it all. So you have investors that want to buy meme coins, and they hope for quick high returns, and that's some of the problems that people have in it, because the volatile nature of these coins can lead to significant gains, and they can also lead to significant losses. So it's very risky. But also, meme coins offer a low entry barrier into the crypto space. So they're usually very cheap, and it makes them accessible to a wide variety of investors, including those that are new to cryptocurrency. And so, with previous bull runs, we saw a lot of people coming into the space buying Dogecoin and Shiba Inu and those types of things. And so, so there's that aspect of it. It does, and newbies tend to buy meme coins. I don't know why it is.
Melissa, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you sound a little hollow to me. I don't know if everybody else hears it the same way. Is it sounding a little hollow to you all as well on your microphone, or is it sounding very clear?
I don't know.
Seems okay.
Pretty good.
Sounds much better now that you just said it sounded good to me.
Well, good.
Maybe it's just my stuff. Don't mind me.
The
sounds like you fade in and out to me, but everybody else says,
yeah.
I guess it's each person's setup, whatever. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it probably is. The final reason for people buying meme coins is the cultural relevance. And they often tap into popular internet cultures, and they make them relatable and appealing to a broad audience. And so, I kind of want to go around the room and just kind of discuss at this point in the conversation, why do you think people are buying meme coins? What type of value do you think that they offer? Because I think it really does matter. That is a very important question. And so, since Optimistic is not available at the moment, I'm going to start with Keda, and then I'll go Brooke and Stephanie, and then Landon.
So when it comes to meme coins, and as you know, we've talked about this considerably because I really hadn't gotten into meme coins up until recently, probably within the last few months, right? With Chicago, right? So Chicago. And here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest. Before, I really didn't see a reason for a meme coin. Just because I will say for myself, I can't speak for everybody else, but for myself, I'm definitely a utility maxi. You know what I mean? I'm definitely looking for something that does something and solves a problem somehow. So for me, I wasn't understanding how meme coins came along and why everybody made so much money off of them, right? So for me, I was like, okay, so what's the joke? And at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. It is a joke. It is, something that people, if they are truthful and honest about what a meme coin is, it's a joke, right?
It's a joke until it's not, right?
It's a joke until it's not, right? If Dogecoin or if Shiba Inu or if any of those coins that are out there, what is it? The Happy Apes, the ape coin, and all of those different meme coins that came out, they show that they can be a meme coin up and until the point where they are not just a meme coin, where they are out here and have some type of utility and are, it's a meme coin until it's not. And I almost feel like it's a meme coin until they figure out what the heck they want to do with the coin.
Yeah. Yep. I feel you. So, what do you think, Brooke? Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Can you hear me okay? My headphones just okay, good. So just to be transparent, I have not bought any quote unquote meme coins right now. And because I have this, I'm a research nerd and I like to buy things like Keda kind of said that we know is going to do something. But I'm thinking about I consider this gambling. So it might be fun to throw some, spare change at it just to see what happens. But I think as long as people know that that's what they're getting themselves into, and people aren't misleading about it, then it is what it is. People like to go to Vegas. People like to go into meme coins. I think, though, that's the story. Most of the people who don't research and know what this whole like revolution is, like actually what's happening, they hear the meme coin story and like get rich quick and or a rug pull, and that's unfortunate. I think that is what the majority of other people, the mass public, see it as. However, whenever you're talking about cryptocurrencies, you're talking about networks. And so the thing that you want to see is use within your network, because the more node or the, you know, that extra like project, it plays a bigger role into the network effect of these things. So it's all about adoption. And I guess I'll accept that in whatever form it comes in me. So
Yeah. Right. What do you think, Stephanie?
You know, I'm going to go kind of the opposite. That's why we have such a good panel. Literally, I have made a lot of money on meme coins, but it was an accident that I fell into it. I was looking for a developer project to build my payment portal, and met the developers with XRDoge. Now, mind you, when I say the developers, one of them was a developer and the rest of them were scumbag scallywaggers, but we didn't know. And but the scumbag scallywaggers, I mean, good stuff. I mean, they pumped the shit out of that token, but there was a lot of bad stuff going on. So not only am I learning about this payment portal that I'm trying to do something great with, I made $43,000 in 2 weeks. And
Nice.
that was great. So, I mean, I got hooked. Not going to lie, I was hooked, just like any gambling fanatic. Because you're right, Brooke, it is gambling. Now, as far as First Ledger and what's going on, I was excited about it at first. Now I've been in spaces. Now I'm seeing different things. One guy was in the First Ledger space saying that he's already made 8 meme coins, and he's saying, quote unquote, he's doing it just for fun. And we were talking, and I'm going to be quick because I'm going to let Secret Weapon jump in on this one too, because it kind of goes with what we were all tweeting about earlier. Like, what's the ticker? Like, that's like almost the drug. You know, we get into these groups, you're in spaces with a bunch of people, or you're in a Telegram group, and someone says, okay, what's the ticker? And they go through all of the coins that are listed, and they find the ticker. Like, the ticker is the letters that describe the token, if anybody.
Yeah, like Shikaka is SHKK.
Right. So that's what a ticker is. So when the joke is, okay, so what's the ticker? And someone will drop a ticker. And I did it yesterday during the boardroom for Notorious's token. And so then everybody pumps it. Everybody pumps it. And you watch it, and like if you put 5 XRP, next thing you know, you have 20 XRP. But then people start, FOMOing because they see it going up so high, and they start putting in 100 XRP or 200 XRP, and it's climbing and climbing. And then you get the word Jeep, and someone starts Jeeting, and that's who dumps first. And that's all it is. It's a game. And they're running these tokens up, and they're just picking a token randomly and doing this, running them up. People are making money, and some aren't. And it's just a game. Who sells fast? So I've been watching this, and I'm just not sure how I would for Optimystic Prime, who's got a real meme community project that she's trying to build. We're not shilling her ticker because we don't want that to happen. We don't want it to go up, and we don't want it to go down. So it's kind of hard for me to say. I'm still on the fence right now. I'm having fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm making a little bit of money, but I'm not putting in, the kids' college fund. But I am playing with it. So I'm seeing different ways about it. So that's just my thoughts on it right now. But I don't have there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the background.
There's a lot to talk about, that's for sure. Landon, what's your thoughts on meme coin, and then we'll go to Amanda if she's available, and then Life with Glee. I do see your question, and we are going to answer that after we hear from Landon and Optimistic. Landon?
Okay, well, thanks there. I mean, obviously, lots of really good points already mentioned. I don't want to go over everything, but you know, I mean, I got into Shiba Inu like everybody else. That was the cool thing at the time. I lost some money on Saitama because, like, was being said earlier there by Stephanie there that if you're not in the club and know what's happening in the background, you don't know when you're coming in and when you're coming out, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the point there about gambling, as long as you know what you're getting into, and it can be fun. I think it was like I describe it like going for fast food. They pretend that they're giving you all these healthy choices to pretend they're healthy, but we all know it's not healthy. So we go anyways, right? They should just say, don't worry, no disclaimer. If you come eat here, it's not healthy, but enjoy yourself. So that's kind of what I think about when I think about meme coins themselves is, have some fun, know what you're getting into. Don't bet the farm. Maybe you get lucky. I mean, I think too, sometimes like when people make up these tickers, a lot of it is their own individuality. They like to produce something, maybe something fun that's about themselves, or maybe something they enjoy. And if they can do that and make some money at it, hey, I'm all for it. But again, it's buyer beware, right? Retail always seems to lose in the end. So
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was to speak, but I wanted to add on that. It is like I created mine for fun and because it was something I was passionate about, but I stopped it. I took out exactly how much I put back in, told anybody, I'm going to start over because I did it wrong. I did it wrong. But it is about a reflection of yourself if you want to have fun.
Yeah. Amanda, what are your thoughts?
I did not know that, Stephanie. So I still have your token. So that's an interesting thing. And maybe later on you could talk about what you learned in the process, but I did not get the memo. And I think that, everything everybody said is exactly, when Brooke mentioned the casino thing, like I never go to the casino. And so I was even asking myself, like I've been to the casino twice in my whole life, and I brought $10 and I lost $10 and I had some free drinks, and that was the end of that conversation, And that's pretty much how I'm handling this whole thing. Is for me, what made me excited was that there was some new tech that was easy to learn about, and I wanted to learn about it. And because I have a meme token, and because I have all these tokens on the ledgers and stuff, any way for me to learn all the aspects of tokenomics and what works and what doesn't, and what brings people in and what runs people away, and how are people having these conversations in spaces, and like what you're seeing on the screen, and what tools to use to like watch what's actually happening in the background. And it's a pretty quick way of learning how what a trader would do in a day on stocks. Like it's a very quick way to learn that it is gambling, and that you're against a monster. And you got somebody who sees the ticker pop up, who buys $1,000 worth. You have 100 people put in their money, like they're winning your money, like it is poker, or like it is, whoever you're betting against the house essentially. And the house is another person who has a lot more experience than you, who might even have a bot set up that like has, where they're selling. And so, like know what you're doing. But ultimately, I think that the hype is something that's really interesting in terms of getting people on the ledger. I think that the education I've learned in the past 7 days, I literally have been asking God, the universe, for at least a year, if not 4. And the amount of information that I have acquired through this process is pretty paramount. And I only ever put 1 to 2 XRP on each. So I'm like, okay, it's $1, Amanda. Like if you lose it, whatever. If it turns into something awesome. And a lot of these tokens, I'm just leaving, right? Like I'm not, my goal was to replace the trust line. So trust line on XRP is 2 XRP. So not only if you're purchasing 1 XRP worth, you're actually like, you do not have access to 3 at that point. So my goal was just to replace the 2 that I didn't have access to through the trust line, and then the 1 or 2 that I had put in. That was all my goal was. And so, that's been really interesting to sort of see what I could do that on, and what went from like, the 1 to nothing and 95% losses. And, it's 0.05 of an XRP right now. but that was the game, and that was what I sort of wanted to learn through it. And obviously through this, I've also learned more about AMMs, more about swapping, more about the limit orders and how these do not coincide. Did not know that till this week, and just things like that. So I think that it's a great way to learn. But at the same time, I mean, we all know that
Crypto's not for sissies.
It's not. And the first lesson is always on beware of scammers.
And research.
It's,
I mean, this has been a wake-up call to remind us what we kind of got lazy on in the last year. Not lazy, or lackadaisical maybe is the word. We weren't learning. I mean, I wasn't learning what I should have been learning, but you said I've been learning. Like, I screwed up with creating my token. I only started my my liquidity pool with 100 XRP. I did the whole minimum just because I didn't know what I was doing. I took the max developer amount because in my mind I was thinking, oh well, I'm going to give out airdrops and I'm going to, share my token and I'm going to do all this fun stuff, and I wasn't even sure 30% was enough. Then I find out that my token looks like a total scam because I only put in 100 XRP for my liquidity, and I took 30% as a
I'm glad that you mentioned that, Stephanie, because your intention was not to be a scam.
My intention
was a scam,
but it looks like
it looks like it is. And so there's a lot of folks, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. There's a lot of folks that are being accused of being a scammer or whatever, and they're simply trying to learn to build a token. And so, not everything is at its face value, right?
But then at the same time, you got scammers who have the extra money and put the liquidity in at whatever imaginary number you have to legitimize a token, and you're like, oh, this is a legit token. It was built this time, and this is the liquidity, and you purchase it, and then they are a scammer. So I mean, yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say at the very end, but yeah, anyways.
I want to answer Life with Glee's question. So we kind of talked about it a little bit at the top of the show. Life with Glee wants to know, what is the definition of a meme coin? And I typed it in. What is it? A meme coin is a type of cryptocurrency that's often created as a joke or based on an internet meme or cultural phenomenon. Unlike traditional cryptocurrencies designed to solve specific problems or provide certain functionalities, meme coins usually lack a defined utility and are primarily driven by social media hype, community engagement, and speculative trading. And examples of that are the popular Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. And while they can gain significant value through viral trends and community support, they're typically highly volatile and speculative investments. However, so that's kind of like the definition. However, as Crypto J, if you follow him, Crypto J says, Crypto for Life, it's a joke until it isn't. And so here's an example of like reverse engineering with social engagement. And I always knew, like with the Dogecoin, something's there. This guy's built coin, and what does it do? It's a stupid meme, blah blah blah, these things. And now we have the Department of Governmental Efficiency, which is you just don't know what something is going to end up being. Some of these meme coins could actually have good intentions and turn into something entirely different than just a meme coin. I do want to say hello to some of the folks that are in here. We got 39 people. If you please hit that like button and share this. CK Cardano, thank you for coming to the show. Crypto Glamma's in here. Our friend
Hey,
Scary. We've got Mr. Simon says script. Simon, just for those of you who know, might not have known, if you missed last week's show, Simon has went back to work. He's a sheet metal worker, and the good news is there's a lot of work, meaning like they're building stuff and he's working. So it's going to be several months that he's going to be working and not be able to be on the show live. He's going to start doing some, he's going to watch this show and then give his thoughts tomorrow, and maybe do little mini clips of and give his input. And so
That's cool.
We miss you. We love you. And we thank you. He's going to be listening to the shows every Wednesday night. And I want to welcome Life with Glee. Thank you for your question. Throw Inc. is in here. Big Watch Dude. Who we got? Hulk's casting couch. What's that about? What does that mean? Huh?
Mhm.
What? Who's Hulk's cat? It says audio is off. I hope everyone can hear us.
I can
But
hear you.
I like to think about this meme coin thing, this craze, and I want to kind of know what you guys think about this. Like, meme coins are to cryptocurrency to what viral internet trends are to social media. So just as a meme or viral challenge can capture the internet's attention and bring people together and laugh and, that sort of thing, meme coins can capture that same crypto community's interest, just like those other things. And you get a bunch of mass participation and speculation. Or even like you could compare it to, like, why the hell do people collect Pokemon cards, right? Or Beanie Babies? They're a part of popular culture, and there's a sense of community in it. People do it for fun. They're not necessarily expecting to buy, make money. Like if they bought Beanie Babies or Pokemon cards, yeah, they say they could make you some money, but maybe you won't, but you have them, trading cards, those types of things. And so I think it's really interesting that this is the digital version of that, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I think Brooke wants to talk.
Yeah, because this has been going through my head the entire time. Yes, so like meme coins are a joke at the beginning, but we need to start asking ourselves questions, especially heading into this crypto future. What's being built is what's called the network of value. And so that's why 68J can say it's a joke until it's not. And so you have to ask then, the question is, what gives these things value? Like, what in today's world is valuable? And what is valuable, that's changing. And so we have to ask what made Doge so valuable. It was that network effect. The more people who came on, it's that whole thing. And so, and much like right now, or I guess think about like 1995 and trying to explain to someone back then that you can make money on a cell phone dancing around for a few seconds and like millions of dollars more so than the man that goes to work,
Crazy.
That concept was so foreign. And so you can have an opinion about if you think that that's valuable or not, but the marketplace is going to dictate value in this. And so, legitimately, those jokes, if enough people come onto it, you have enough fans, you have enough collectors, whatever that community looks like, I think we're headed into like community driven value built on this blockchain. So
I think that's part of it. I do believe that there's more to it than just that. I do believe that because there is so much emphasis on having legitimacy in this particular market, and we have a lot of people that are in it. I think that, yes, I do agree that value, I think, is basically community driven. I believe that we, the people, or the powers that be, decide what does and doesn't have value. They decide what to put in your face every 5 seconds. You know what I mean? They put this in your face. You know what I mean? So if if we apply that then to the digital asset and the cryptocurrency space, that's exactly what they did with Bitcoin. You know what I mean? That because as of right now, when it comes down to cryptocurrencies and digital assets, the first thing that anybody has to say is Bitcoin. And that's not a dig, that's not a negative thing or a positive thing. It just is. You know what I mean? And regardless of whether people know what it does, how it does it, and what it's about, that's the face of it. So with the same thing with meme coins, same
Yep.
thing. They got a picture of a dog and said, you know what, this is Shiba Inu. This is a Shiba Inu right here. So we're gonna put this in your face every 5 seconds. So now every time a Shiba Inu rolls down here, I know which one it is. I know, oh, that's a Shiba Inu. Who knew? And the thing about it is I would have never known that. That's a dog that's not even really a thing here in the United States. It is now because of a meme coin. You know what I mean? So something has value when the masses decide that it does have value.
Yep.
I could be wrong with that.
I want to share something that I came across. It's a couple minutes. I never heard of this guy before, but of course, you know me, those of you that dip a toe know that I like to research things, look into things before I do anything. And I like to hear different people's perspectives. I never want to keep myself in a box so that because I can easily just keep reinforcing my same opinion, and I don't think that's helpful for myself. And so I really want to discover this stuff and figure out, like, is this a good thing, is this a bad thing, because initially I too was like, I don't remember who mentioned it, but said, like, I don't play with meme coins. I never played with meme coins. I never thought about buying a meme coin until Jay asked me to be a ambassador for Chicago Coin, which then forced me to start learning into, like, what the hell is a meme coin. So anyway, I hopefully will be able to see this a little bit better. I listened to this and I thought it sounded really good, and so I'm going to play a few minutes of this.
Memes represent culture. So you can look at culture, but then you also look at what drives culture, which is marketing and public relations. So there's some things that naturally take off. Your Dogecoin, your Shiba, your Pepe, because they're already ingrained in culture. Nobody thought that Bitcoin was going to take over, but when it took over, other things started to gain attention. In this case, Dogecoin. The next bull run rolled around. People were like, hey, you know what? We're going to need another set of meme coins because we don't want this thing that's worth tens of billions of dollars already. Introducing Shiba, introducing Pepe, introducing all these other ones. Now another chain rolls around, Solana. You have WIF, you have all these other ones roll around. And then Coinbase says, hey, you know what? The SEC is cracking down on us. I think we should launch a decentralized chain. So they launch Base Chain. Here come all the meme coiners and launch on Base Chain. I bet on Brett. Brett did extremely well. Now you have other chains that are popping up that are doing extremely well, that are gaining a lot of attention, we talked about culture, but they have the other side, which is the marketing and the public relations, which is what you need in order to drive traffic. So you look at MetaMask. Okay, what are the two chains that are native to MetaMask? Ethereum and Linea. These are the two. So these are two that are going to have great marketing and great public relations because they have money and they have teams. So what do you have on Ethereum? On Ethereum, you have all these different projects that are rolling around. Meme coins are abundant and generous. Linea is a new one that's rolling around. We have Foxy on Linea that kind of represents the mascot of MetaMask. It's a really good novel idea. Has the ability to take off. Then you have Solana. You have Binance Smart Chain, new tokens rolling out there. It really is about trends, teams, and narratives. That's what it boils down to. So you want to be vested on every potential chain. You want to find the winner on every chain.
Not financial advice.
Their meme winner. And then you want to find the teams that have the best public relations and the best marketing. You don't care about dev work. You don't care about any of this stuff because it's a meme coin. So the ones that I'm looking at, Base Chain, Brett, simple. Solana, NPC, because I talk a lot about being an NPC on Ethereum, Foxy on Linea, and nothing yet on the Binance Smart Chain, and nothing yet on Ton. I'm still looking at
Because you
those.
got to wait to see what the winner is as well.
You have to wait to see what the winner is.
Otherwise, you can get in too early sometimes.
But you can predict the winner based off of the public relations and the marketing.
Yeah.
Because those are the two strongest indicating factors. So for example, you look at Foxy, how they launched, right? They launched most of all the major exchanges off of day one, $100 million market cap off rip, really strong team, really strong narrative, really strong marketing. Okay, it makes sense. They need to work on the incorporation of the lineage chain, things like that. But what makes me bullish? The fact that you can buy on centralized exchanges, path of least resistance, easy to operate. Are people going to go on base chain to buy Brett? Not necessarily. They'll probably go on Bybit and buy it.
Yeah.
Or on KuCoin. It's just the path of least resistance. So once you have these centralized listing exchanges, it's all about public relations, marketing. World's yours for the taking.
There's actually a bit of
Okay, what do you guys think about that? And the reason, what struck me was the trends, teams, and narratives, right? And so as those of us who are starting to get involved in these the meme coin culture, we need to be careful what we're investing our money into, right? So him saying the way that these meme coins are successful, which ones, if you are, and again, nothing on this show is a financial advice. You got to do your own research. Crypto's not for sissies. You got to do your own work. You got to look into all this stuff. But I thought he made some really valid points. I don't know that guy. I've never seen him before in my life. I guess he's somebody that made a lot of money off of crypto, and I thought he expressed himself well, so that's why I played the clip. But I'm curious. I'd like to go around the room and get your thoughts on that clip, starting with Amanda.
Well, the first thought I had was Chicago, because that, so it's so interesting with Chicago Coin, because I was asked to be an ambassador, and I was so excited that, because I kept telling Jay, like, you need to make this a token, because he kept joking about it. And I was like, oh, wouldn't that be cool if it was actually a real thing? But I thought he was going to make it on XRP. And so when he made it on Base, I was like, dude, man, I have not opened a MetaMask wallet in like a year and a half. It was super complicated. I lost so much money. And so I was really resistant. And then I noticed my own resistance, and I was like, well, now is your opportunity, Amanda, to open your wallet again and figure out how to move your whatever. Like, do you have any money left in there? I don't remember. I didn't know, because it had been a year and a half. Do you know where your codes are? I don't know. Like, I got to go find them and see if it works again. Do you even have the app on your new phone? No. So it was literally like this whole process, and it took me hours. And because I'd only ever done it once, I'd only ever done it 2 years before in buying Doge. And I went through the whole, like, how do I get money on the ledger, and how do I transfer it over? And how do I, it was like a learning curve for me to figure out crypto. And so Chicago allowed me to reintroduce myself. I didn't even know Base existed, and he just mentioned Base, right? And so it was really, so that was my personal evolution to, okay, well, this is an opportunity for me to not just go and buy Ethereum and not have to do a lot of research, but like be part of something that could be something in the future or could not. I trust those boys that they ain't going to rug pull, and that they have, future visionary ideas. And so that it offered me the opportunity to get back in the Ethereum, network of some sort, and just learn a little bit more. And then, so that was obviously the first thing I thought of. And then it was really interesting in terms of talking about what causes a token to like take off, because, when you see, I come from it, like, obviously from a very different perspective than everybody here, because I've made a whole bunch of tokens that I hope to be utility tokens in the future. But like, I barely have an extra $100 a month to do anything with. So, I'm not pouring money into advertising, and, I'm also censored on all platforms. And so I think if the algorithm was actually encouraging people like me, then, maybe I would have been seen a lot more, and maybe I would have, a lot more people involved in my project. But like, the algorithms are like, not Amanda. I can't know what she has to say. It's, against the narrative, which is why I made a meme coin called the Blue Umbrella Token. It's because, like eventually I believe that the people who are like me, who, like are trying to find a joke in the horror that is this freaking world, that you can lighthearted. And I have a really hard time with humor. To be honest with you, I am really bad with humor. My husband's great, and he's the one, like, he learns about all of the current events through memes. So he'll be like, what is this about? He'll come and show me some meme about some event that's happening, and he has no idea what the actual event is. He just sees the meme, laughs about it, and then he comes to me and I'm like, oh, this crazy shit happened last week with P. Diddy, or, oh, this and so I tell him the actual facts. And so I've been trying to cultivate my humor over the years in terms of finding the lightheartedness in the insanity that is. And so I think that, that is really, like, oh, I'm not going to put, 10,000 your life savings into something and hope that it's going to be a thing, especially in this volatile market, especially with inflation and, potentially hyperinflation, on the brink of World War III, on the, people talking about the end of the Fed. Like, we are in some, bricks, whatever. We are in some tumultuous times. And so being able to I believe that education is power in whatever capacity. And so being able to lightheartedly go into this sphere and find out about not just the main ones, because I can actually own Bitcoin and Ethereum in Canada by through an app called ShakePay. And it quite literally, you just internet e-transfer it. So I can just send money from my bank account to it. There's no questions asked. It's not like, on Binance, 24 hours, you have to validate it with the bank. Now I'm not even allowed to go on Binance. I'm not even allowed to buy tokens on Uphold. Canada has some really messed up, we don't want the, no, stay down, you may not enter this sphere and make money. And so that, I can own those easy, and I can just leave them in there, and I, never have to be on an exchange or whatever. But these memes allow an opportunity for you to get involved in aspects of these blockchains, to learn the little bits and pieces that are going to be very valuable in the future once all this stuff shakes out. And that if you can bring a little bit of lightheartedness to it. But then my final thought is, coming from creating this meme coin and the cultural validity to it, and the what makes one succeed. I want the Blue Umbrella Token to be synonymous with truthers from the 2020s. Wouldn't that be a legacy to leave on the blockchain for hundreds of years? That I created this on February 29th, 2024, because I believe we're quantum leaping into this golden age future, and screw the deletes, and so I'm hoping that'll happen. I don't know. And but I do know that in our cultural relevance, for me, November 5th is the biggest day in modern history. And there was a movie once made called V for Vendetta. And the whole movie is about Guy Fawkes, who is the guy who, wears that's the mask of Guy Fawkes. That's the anonymous mask, is Guy Fawkes. And Guy Fawkes, there's a day called, it's Guy Fawkes Day is November 5th. And so it's really interesting this year, and just the pattern of synchronicity and how the anons and that whole thing. So such a culturally relevant thing that I think that in 100 years people are going to be researching the shit out of us. Hey, how did this become a relevant thing? How did a dog on a token? And I think it's so fascinating with Elon and the Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. And he keeps posting that everywhere. And I'm like, it's a joke until it's not, right?
It's a joke until it's not. Keda, what do you think, Keda?
So, when it comes to this meme coin world, right? And I do agree, I have not had the chance to really get out there and try to build a coin myself. So getting into Chicago was great in the sense of
it was a baby step too.
Yeah, it was definitely a baby step and a dip a toe moment, because what that meant was now I'm going to be able to understand everything from the infancy of the coin itself. You know what I mean? Having those types of conversations, really like not realizing all of the different steps that go into one, you know, creating a coin, building the infrastructure, talking to the, builders of other coins, and understanding what works for those that are in, that are really doing it and doing it well, and have added legitimacy to that aspect of the digital asset space, right?
Yeah, renounce the contract. Do I not
Right.
renounce the contract? All these
Exactly.
questions that, us on the other end, we don't think to even
We
ask
don't
those
think
questions. We
about
have no idea, right?
that.
And so, yeah, you're totally right. Got to ask
Yeah.
those
So,
questions.
and then on top of it, then to see, not just that aspect of it, but then also thinking about the tokenization, right? How many tokens are you planning on making, right? Are you thinking about possibly being on some type of exchange? If so, no, you're going to have to put aside a certain amount of coins that you're going to have to each give to each one of these particular exchanges that you now are looking to be listed on. And
Come up with some
hopefully you
money.
have the exactly, and hopefully you either are going to be looking at this from an aspect of payola, or you're going to be looking at this from an aspect of how much can I really set aside really for that? Did I even think about that? Was that even in my purview? Did I even like put myself in a position to where, yes, I'm doing this in order for it to be a great thing and to eventually potentially make money off of it? But have I thought about every aspect of creating this coin? So me getting into and becoming an ambassador for Chicago Coin was really important, right? It was important for the learning aspect. And as a Sagittarius, I'm all about learning something. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is, I'm all about it. Okay. And because I don't want it to be a situation where somebody asks me the question and I just can't say, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, oh.
I don't know. So that's the beauty of it. This was a learning thing for me. And then not to mention to hear, 68J and the way that he's able to inspire you into really getting into the coin, and
Yep.
regardless of whether it's Shakaka or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you really get into it and you start to understand not just the community of it, but the fact that him and Mike Owens have really put time into,
Figure it
creating a
out.
coin, and hopefully, doing it in a way that they're going to feel good about themselves at the end of the day and be able to sleep after doing it. So,
Mhm.
it's an interesting thing, and it also is helping me learn more about blockchain. It's helping me
Yes.
learn more about the different aspects of DeFi that I may not have been privy to. You know what I mean?
Same.
And now I can give more information concerning that. So,
Same.
yeah.
Good comments. Brooke, what about you? What do you think?
So he kind of said the same thing that I was alluding to, that meme coins, it's about culture. He said it's about narrative, it's about marketing. And so I agree with his analysis on that, because the more eyes, the more, you know how that just goes. This
That
is
that popped in my head, Brooke, is that the money. So I instantly thought, okay, well, knowing what we know now because of the Chicago coin thing, big money has advantage over the little guy that's trying to build a thing, because they got the money for the marketing and the trend, create the trend and to create the narrative. They have the teams and all of that stuff. And so, Chicago is kind of going with like, for us, by us. That's their narrative. That's their team, is just a bunch of the little guys. And I heard on Spaces, that Stone that has those great spaces, he was telling some of these meme creators, you need to bond together with these other meme creators so that you are stronger together. you create your narratives together. Oh, we got Mr. Man in here. Yay. There's our
Hey,
Mr. Man. How are you, my
Mr.
friend?
Man. How are
I'm
you?
doing well. Thanks for having me tonight.
We're excited to have you here. So we're talking about meme coins. I don't know, in the new first ledger bot. And I played a clip for some perspective where the fellow was saying, the meme culture success is all on trends, teams, and narratives. For if you're going to pick out of some winners out of this meme pool, you kind of want to look for those types of things. I'm sorry, Brooke, you weren't done with your comments. I apologize.
No apology needed. It's true. They do the more money, the more marketing, the more eyes. And it's correct. People do need to bond together because this is network of networks of networks. It's simple math. It's actually not that simple. It's kind of exponential, mind blowing. But that's the funny thing, that if we can get it together as a community and come together and really all with this, the more use, all of that, it's interoperable between each other. Everyone could stand to benefit, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I agree. Stephanie, what do you think?
Last night, last week, you guys got to meet CK and RTB, and they're from another community, and you guys are talking about how Chicago is on Ethereum and stuff, and now we're doing this on First Ledger. I think that in itself is a good thing. I mean, we are building bridges between all of these communities. I would have never, I've been supposed to talk about midnight. I'm supposed to talk about midnight a lot, and I'm always telling Melissa, I'm too chicken. I can't do it. And last night, I got on a space thinking it was just CK and RTB BSing about memes, and there was Charles Hoskinson in the space. And so they called me up because they know I'm working at midnight, and I'm like, And I did well. We talked about all my smart people things, and I brought up the XRP ledger, and he gets a little triggered. And RTB and CK said, well, if it wasn't for these memes, Charles, these communities would not have bridged, and they have been nothing but nice to us. So that to me was pretty freaking cool. But other than that, buyer beware. That's all I gotta say. And you know what, Amanda, I'm proud of you because Jay sent me the same thing, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time to be learning a whole nother blockchain. I'm not getting on ETH. What is wrong with you? And and then it was funny because he's in my DMs, and I'm going, how do I know it's you, Jay? When was the first time I met you? That was the first thing I said. And he's like, sis, it's me. And I'm like, that don't answer nothing. I said, where did we meet? I was like that leery because 60 days,
you don't know.
Freaking create a meme coin on Ethereum with them. It didn't even sound right. So yeah, but I'm proud of y'all because y'all stayed with it. I was learning other things, and I'm like, I can't do this right Jay. I got no time. But now I'm mad because I'd have met y'all months
You're
ago.
still early.
Yeah, it's still early. There's still time to buy some Chicago.
I am not learning no day. Well, now that MetaMask has that Snap add-on for XRP, maybe I will pull out my MetaMask and see what I can do.
Yeah.
But I was
but
it was
sorry.
nice. All I'm going to say is it was nice to see that the memes are building a little bit of a bridge, which is what I was looking. That was my goal from the beginning. So that's and it's a community, what the dude said.
Amen. Landon, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, a couple things. I mean, obviously the video you showed there, he basically was describing basic economics. Really, he was trying to help people realize, well, you know what? Don't just take a dart and just throw it at at the ledger or or wherever meme coin. I sure hope this is going to be the one that does it for me. But he basically was giving you the principles. Okay, well, who's building it? Who's got the team? Who's doing the marketing? And I mean, that's a pretty good start to try to find something that's going to be viable, even though it's, as people say, it's a joke until it becomes something.
Yeah.
The other thing that we talked a little bit about, like community-driven value for meme coins. I have like people that work for me, like they're into like magic cards, and like they'll say, "Hey, this thing's worth thousands of dollars to buy this card." And I'm like, thousands of dollars, but obviously it's whoever wants to buy it. But what they've created, not just a community, but these cards all, or even like a baseball card or whatever, they're all tied to one large entity, right? So if someone could create a meme coin where you have coins that are all part of a large entity that all have a different meaning within each group, you might have something that'd be very similar to, I can see the winking, very similar to creating like a National League card or like magic cards or something where you're actually trading with each other for something to, when they play these games, this card gives me more, more hits per my, whatever energy I have. And they actually play these games and then they actually trade and they buy. So if you could create a way to create that's a community coin that has coins within those coins, you might have something there.
Well, wait, pointing this one, that one, coins
Yeah.
within coins, huh? Yeah, good, great.
I was winking. I was like, you can stand under my blue umbrella. We can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's great comments. And Stephanie says magic cards are a big deal, not for her, but for someone. I want to welcome Tony Bangs, and we have a new listener says checking out this channel for the first time. Welcome, the Zen of Gavin. We appreciate you stopping by. And then also Nicholas M says, I want all the meme coins. Good way to save XRP in a trust line for a long-term investment. So yeah, very welcome to the show, guys. First 49 people listening now. Please like, share, and subscribe to Dip a Toe. We appreciate you very much.
That say putting your meme coin into a trust line. That's not true. You are not banking your XRP, because if that meme coin dips, you've lost your XRP. I thought that too at first. I'm like, well, shoot, if I just put it in this meme coin and stuff, I thought the exact same thing. It was like a little savings account because I wouldn't touch it. Mm-hmm. Not true. So when people dump on that meme coin, you have lost your XRP as well. So be careful. And I have made that mistake. So be careful. But I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Mr. Man, we are so happy that you are here. Mr. Man happens to have quite a bit of experience. He's someone that's kind of pushed me to dip my toe. He's been looking into this DeFi space, and I'm hearing people talking about magnetic and all these things, and so I've been chomping at the bit, wondering what your impression of this new First Ledger bot is, and just the meme frenzy that's going on in general right now. What are your thoughts on all of this?
To me, so the memes right now entered stage right on time. We're going through the downturn of the economy now with the interest rates rolling back. People can now access money more freely, if you will. It's easier to get a loan for a mortgage. It's easier to get a loan from the bank. I get emails almost on the daily. Hey, here's some money from this bank. Here's some money from that bank. Come on, try this new product. So with all this money starting to come out again, memes are right on schedule, and to have, like you were saying, to have that story, to have that understanding, that community, it's a good way to get people into crypto. This to me is like one of those onboarding things into it. You've heard of the guy down the road. Hey man, you got rich from, what's that coin called? Fart coin. Cool. Yeah. I'll check it out. Why not? I've never heard of it. I have no clue what crypto is, but you made $1,000 in 10 seconds. I want that to be my story too. This is a solid onboarding mechanism. I don't know much about First Ledger itself. Memes aren't for me. Like the community makes sense. I'm in a few meme projects helping individuals out in the background. But like they make sense, and it can be a good way, as you guys are talking about, to stack your XRP should you happen to bet your money on the right horse. But should you not, you begin to lose money as well. This immediately brings me into the world of DeFi, as you were talking about there, Melissa. That's how, I guess, how I see it makes sense for me, because I've been in DeFi for a good latter part, about 7 months now, and it's worked in favor. but there's also ways where it doesn't work in favor. And should it not go in my favor, I'm now losing a coin of mine or depreciating both of them due to impermanent loss. And then I got to figure out what I can do and what my options are. So this is definitely akin to memes.
Yeah. Great points. And like you said, meme coins are a gateway to crypto. They act as entry points for people that are new to this world. They're drawing a broader audience that can ultimately drive wider adoption for cryptocurrencies as a whole. Because it usually, like, once someone starts with a meme coin, then they start to explore other more established digital assets, like many people did with Doge and all of that. The funny thing is like, those of us that have been in the space for a long time, we're like, oh, it's a meme coin, but because we're researching on a deeper level all of these ISO 2022 type coins, the utility coins, the ones that have been around for a long time. And so, someone like me, I had never really considered purchasing a meme coin, but having a channel and trying to explain to folks and talking till I'm blue in the face, try to get loved ones to enter into the crypto space, and realizing like, hey, the only freaking coin that they bought was Dogecoin or Shiba Inu when I'm trying to get them to buy even Bitcoin at $30,000, at the time. And so it definitely is a gateway into the crypto space. And personally, and I want your guys' input on this also. So, as the gentleman said in the clip that I played, there's all these established chains where they've had all these meme coins, the Shiba Inus and the Doge coins and Pepe and all of these other ones that are out there that are well established now. XRP Ledger really hasn't had a meme coin type frenzy, so to speak. And so, sometimes some people, it's putting a bad taste in their mouth. Other people are excited about it. People are building and experiencing it. And, I think it's a great way to experiment with the blockchain and understand, like, create, whether you're creating a coin or whatever, you might be able to experiment with the technologies and figure out about your economic model that you want to build. If you're going to build a coin, talk about, community building strategies, how was one coin successful? Why did this one go viral? Asking all of those questions, whether you're going to build a coin or whether you're going to buy a coin. These are important tools for you to have in your arsenal when you're thinking about investing into crypto in general, right? And this can be for anyone. I want to say hi to Becky Forbes and Shay. Welcome to the Dabatao Show. Does anyone have any comments on that?
I want to jump in real quick, because if you guys are thinking about building a coin, I'm going to tell you from experience, do a practice run. Don't put, like me, like I used my ticker. I used the one that I wanted to do. And now I feel like if I do it again, I've lost that edge that I had because I did screw up. So, maybe build yourself something for fun. It costs 140 XRP to do it on First Ledger, and maybe get that back, test it out, or you can go on testnet and do it. I mean, the testnet on the XRPL is very easy to use, and you can play with fake monopoly money on the testnet and do it, and you're not risking anything.
Oh, wait, can I ask you a question then? So, okay, because I am considering to create a coin just because I want to understand the back end of these things.
There you
So
go.
I can go on the testnet and I can come up with a random name, whatever, figure out my tokenomics or whatever, and build it in test mode. And does it cost me anything to do that?
No, you can get 10,000 test XRP from the faucet. And
very cool.
So yeah, and not enough people use the testnet on the XRPL because it is so easy to create something on the XRPL that people just say, fuck it, I'm going straight to mainnet. And then they get wrecked, and you've wrecked your community, you've embarrassed yourself, and you made, oopsies. So yes, definitely you can go on testnet. And if you want some help on testnet, I'm actually better on testnet than I am on mainnet because I spend a lot of time on testnet. But yeah, like Tony says, shout out to RDC, that Bagman's tokens. He did it right, man. He did it right. He's created NFTs where you get, Amanda, you need to go stake yours at the steakhouse. You can stake your NFT, you get more RDC. And he's built this great community. And he's not charging much. It's like 10 XRP for an NFT. And we're learning a lot together. So community is everything when it comes to a meme coin. Unless you just, and you know what I'm seeing? One more thing, and I'm probably going to just be quiet for the rest of the night because I'm not feeling great. But, or I'll try to be quiet for the rest of the night. Anyway, one thing I'm seeing is I've only seen like 4 or 5 really decent meme tokens out there. I mean, out of the thousands that are being built, I'm seeing maybe 5 communities taken off. To be, I'm literally seeing 5 communities taken off. And I'm even a little leery of them because, well, are they building a community because they know how to run a community? So, I mean, this is a hard thing with the meme coins, and just don't put your life savings into it. Like
it's something that we have to go through, though, right? I mean, because of the adoption that it brings. Those of us that are in the crypto space in general, we're trying to learn ourselves. We need to understand these types of things. And so it's like, for me, it's the dip a toe. That's why it's the dip a toe show. And you got people that know a lot more than we do, but surely being able to get in there and test if you're going to build, I think is a great way to understand how these things work. And then, you're just even that more educated on what you're buying, what to look for. But surely you don't have to build a coin if you're interested in looking at the meme coin, but you do need to look at who's the team. Do they have a white paper? Who are the people surrounding the project? Start to understand the tokenomics. And I'll shut up. Someone else. What are your thoughts?
One more thing I wanted to say about the gentleman that's putting your money. And I've been doing this for years, and I just screwed up and made that mistake. I bought my ATM real low. I sold just enough to make my money back, and I had like 140 XRP worth of ATM, and I was like, yes, I'm just going to leave it there because then I know I have 140 XRP. Well, shoot, somebody dumped on it. Now I have 40 XRP. Had I thought about it, I would have taken the 100 out. I know ATM is going to do something, and maybe I'll make more down the road, but right now I could have used that 100 XRP. So it all depends on timing and what, you can't just leave it there. I mean, look at the guy down there that's saying he's been holding XR Doge. Dude, I sold all-time high at XR Doge, and I mean, a lot of people didn't. And that's how I got lucky. And I mean, everybody's like, oh, we were your exit liquidity, Stephanie. Well, at the time, I didn't know that nobody else didn't know to sell at all-time high. So, yeah, just keep in mind, there are people that are losing if you're winning, but it's
sure. It's life.
Yeah. I was going to just mention too, we're in this space to make money, right? Like, I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're here to be successful. And I'm happy to see that the ecosystem is evolving. It's not just stagnant. It's not just, this doing the same thing over and over and over. Anything that brings more value or even different types of, I'll call them customers, to your ecosystem is a positive thing. Whether you like meme coins, I mean, I'm not a meme coin guy either. I mean, I've been burnt. I've got some money on some other ones, but that's not my thing. But hopefully it gets those people who would never, ever, ever probably look at the XRPL ledger at all, come onto it, and then notice the features, the benefits, and go, well, maybe I should learn more about this particular ecosystem, this coin, etc., and maybe see the potential value it has that we all know and we all believe it has in the future. So, and that can bring artificially obviously more value to it and money into it before we hopefully see, the more positive things in the future.
Well, you know what's
Yeah.
interesting about that as well, is I don't know how many people realize that if you go on to the XRPL website, there's a lot of information concerning just the DeFi space in itself.
XRPL.org. That's the one y'all want to go to if you want to learn anything. I was going to mention that too. Thank you, Keda.
And so they will not only will they teach you the information, but they'll also test you on it so that you can test your own knowledge and see how well you understood what you looked at, what you read through, how you processed it, and whether or not you got the information appropriately. So, for me, they also give information concerning the different platforms that you can, work with DeFi on. It talked about Curve. It talked about, there was another one that it talked about as well. Talked about AMMs, all these, there's a bunch of different courses that you can take on there. So the information is there. And, especially with the amount of the limited amount of attention span that most people have now due to whatever
2 seconds.
that part. It's bad when they have an article and they literally tell you, oh, it's a minute and a half read. Like,
Like,
really?
oh, I can't read this right
Come
now.
on. And there's so many people that don't, so when it comes down to it, there are resources for you to actually learn. Heck, I was dumb enough to go out and buy DeFi for Dummies. Why? Because right now I'm a dummy on it and I'm trying to learn. So I bought a book. And really wanted to just be able to help verse myself in what is coming. Okay, not because I just want to say, oh, I just want to be, I just want to be more knowledgeable than somebody else. It's just because I know this is coming. Because I know it's coming, I need to understand it better so I'm not screwed in the end. You know what I mean? And so, just if I can encourage people to dip a toe into the DeFi space, which I think is going to be really important because it's going to behoove you to understand how to utilize what you have now invested in for your benefit in the future, because they're trying to make it to where you can't cash out. Otherwise, you're going to be taxed to death. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, you got to figure out how to utilize it so you can actually make sure that you start to have that passive income coming in. You know what I mean? And I need to get into more of what Optimistic Prime is talking about with her wandering footprint and really get to understand what that project is about, because I'm not privy and I want to understand. So
Of which, let's ask a question about that. So I have gotten 2 NFT offers made to me that I'm supposed to accept in my wallet. I didn't know if one of them was you, Optimistic Prime, but every time I go to accept it, it tells me it's a bad path, bad error. Is that a scam? Or is somebody sending me an NFT that I don't know about?
Are you on the XRP?
Is it dusting? Is it dusting that they're sending you?
I don't know. I don't do.
Let me tell you something. If it's unsolicited and I didn't purchase it or something like that, and
no, thank you.
No, thank you.
So it's definitely not me. Just so you know, it's definitely not me. And in terms of, so I learned something last week, and I also would like to hear. Sorry, I'm reversed. So I would really like to hear what Mr. Mann has to say about all this too. But to answer your question, because I am doing the NFT thing too, connected to the Blue Umbrella token, I learned last week that you cannot accept an NFT directly into your wallet. And so if it's made on XRP.cafe, you have to go to XRP.cafe. So if it is an NFT that somebody has actually sent you from XRP.cafe, I would just log into XRP.cafe and it will pop up and it'll show you what the NFT is before you accept it. And the same with Sologenic. You just log in and you partner your thing. But yeah, exactly like they just said, just like, all the massive amounts of tokens you get on Stellar, you go, please convert to Aqua, click. you know, they convert to Aqua, you get all your Aqua, and then you're not taking no tokens, and like that can be a whole other conversation another day about Stellar and all these things. But I have so much to say, but I won't say it all. I did want to add to what you guys are talking about, education. I'm Keda. So in terms of Stellar, I know we're not talking about Stellar exactly right now, but in terms of Stellar, there's a thing called Stellar Quest, and they will actually run you through testnet. But they have quests, and you actually can make Stellar by doing the quests, which actually teaches you how to make tokens. I wish this existed when I was making my tokens. And to be honest with you, I got like super scared, and I did it up to the point where I had to like connect my wallet, because it was like 2 years ago that they launched it, and I was like still really sketched out about having my wallet attached to anything and whatever. But it has modules, and you do like 4 modules, then you do the final test module, and then they send you Stellar, which is pretty cool. And then the other one is Easy A. So Easy A is an app that you can literally learn every single blockchain. And they just launched XRPL at the beginning of this year. And so I started doing that same thing. I just, because I'm the kind of person who just like, I listen to God, and then I do the thing, and then I figure it out later, and I figure that like I've been told the right thing, and then I've been told the thing that I'm supposed to know that I'm supposed to do right now, and then I'll figure it out later. So like, honestly, Steph, I would take what you made and I would build on what you made. I wouldn't make another one, because ultimately, you are learning as you're going, but it's not a lost project. And, I think that for me, I mean, all these questions that come up, like I learn by doing. And I mean, I had a lot of concerns, like, do I black hole the issuer account? And when I black hole the issuer account, can I change the picture on it? Which is a TOML file attached to a machine that's attached to a server, there's so much more to tokenization and projects and things like that, like even these meme coins, like I'm thinking like these people don't even know about TOML files. Like I mentioned a TOML file and people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Like this has been my
because it took me forever to figure out how to get that RDC freaking picture up there, and that was what it was.
Okay, I need you to expound on that, TOML. What's that?
So a TOML file is Mr. Man, do you know what it stands for?
No, I don't know the full acronym.
Okay, it's an acronym. And essentially it's just like a very basic, because I'm not a coder, right? So this has like been the most complicated thing about all of this for me. And I learned it on Stellar first, because Stellar, so basically in the issuer account, you have parameters, and one of them is what's your website? And this is a verification process. So basically it's to verify that your website is what it says it is, and you are who you say you are, and your token is what it says it is. And so essentially you put in your issuer account, you put in your passphrase, you can modify things in the back office, right? So this is where clawbacks exist. This is where freezing exists. This is where parameters around whether or not somebody's allowed to create a trust line or whatever. This is where you create all this. So in that space, there's what's your address? So I put in optimistic.exchange, which is my website that hosts the TOML file. So the TOML file is a very, very basic file that sets out the parameters. So when you're on Stellar, which is a lot easier for me because I have a lot more experience with Stellar. When you see all those tokens that don't have a symbol and they don't have a website, these people don't have a TOML file attached to a website that their token's been sent to. So if you were part of the whole future stock, the stock market's going to be on Stellar in the future, if you were part of that whole thing that happened 4 years ago, at the beginning of it, there was all these tokens that all had pictures and websites that you could go to, and then you could verify them through it. And then it went sort of viral. And then all of a sudden, none of them had pictures and none of them had websites, and all of them had little triangles on them that said scam. And so I was like, isn't that a fascinating thing? And so essentially what happens is I put optimistic.exchange and then on a machine. So I'm just learning about all this stuff right now, which is like machines are basically coding instructions. And so I use a thing called DigitalOcean. I have a friend I found miraculously that has given me, has taught me through these processes. But essentially, Stellar XRPL goes to the website, and then it reads a specific read-only file that has how many tokens, what the description is, what, who the person is that created it. And so you can put a whole bunch of parameters in there, including, and one of them is, image. And the image is found in this folder in this little machine. And so right now, what's really fascinating about my experience, ironically, because I kept just going, I just made it and I just kept going, is we just figured out my TOML file this week. So when I was doing this First Ledger thing, everybody has a picture. You go to First Ledger, they all have pictures. They all, all over the the X space, everybody has a picture. They have their memes, whatever. But if you go into your Examine wallet, there ain't no pictures because they don't have TOML files. And so the TOML file is literally the thing that hosts your image, your description, and sort of like the rules of your token. And interestingly enough, these things can change, ironically, but it also will say this is where you would put clawbacks enabled, or, it basically defines your token for the average person, but also in the back end, it says this is legit. Their TOML file is hosted on this website. So basically it's a feedback loop, right? Like you go to this website, the website is the thing it is. And so the Stellar and XRPL every 24 hours will repopulate. So if you've changed your website address, then every 24 hours to 48 hours, it'll go through a cycle of what tokens have new websites, I'm assuming. And then it'll go read the file, and it has to be exactly named, XRPL-TOML file. I can't remember exactly what it is. And then it'll read that file, and then it'll resend back the information. Now, what I find the most fascinating is that if you're on an Examine wallet, it reads the TOML file. Well, I go into Magnetic this week, and it's my face. It's not my picture. It's not the Blue Umbrella token doesn't have an actual picture. It's my actual face because I did a verification for my token so that people could trust me because I've been sharing my freaking story on the internet for 20 years. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put my name on it. I'll dox myself so that you know that I am who I say I am and I'm not going anywhere. Well, apparently Magnetic reads the Examine, verification process. So there's my face there. And then I went into another one. I think it was XRP, the scan, whatever the XR, I can't remember the name of it. And that one didn't have any information. And then you go into Sologenic and I, figured out their stuff. But if you actually go into your wallet, my picture isn't there. So I'm still learning about the different aspects of being able to where these images stay and where the descriptions stay. And I actually had a conversation with Magnetic this week. And I just sent, I went to their website. I saw, if it says, if this is your, token, contact this person to get the information. And it sent me to a Telegram thing. I was like, I don't know, this seems scammy. But then they wrote me back and they're like, yes, this is, tell me the description, send me the picture, tell me, all the things. They had your Telegram channel, your Twitter thing. And so I guess they do it manually in the back. And that's the same as First Ledger. So on First Ledger, you can find the BAT token, but you can't, there's no information, there's no image, there's no nothing. So it's all very, it's a huge learning curve. And I think testnet is great, but ultimately there is a lot you can't learn on testnet. You have to learn it through the actual doing it and being oh, now I have a problem. I must fix this problem. How do I fix this problem for the least amount of money possible? I need to find somebody willing to share that information with me. And then from there, you can share the information with your wider audience. And hopefully my journey for me personally is, this is what I'm doing. This is how I figured it out. Here you go. Here's the information should you choose to do that in the future. Anyways, I'll shut up because I really want to hear what Mr. Man has to say.
Chronically,
No, I agree with you because, like yourself, I'm an individual who learns by doing. And had I read, I guess, deeper information in terms of DeFi itself, I wouldn't be where I am today. Growing up, I'd gone to school for economics, and I barely passed that class to the point where some of the stuff made sense, but barely. Here I am now living through it. I swear to you, I have a graduation cap on here. I'm passing with A++. Like, I feel like this is the best class ever by going through it itself. So when I first jumped into DeFi and I was on the on Coinbase using Base, using the Aerodrome platform itself, it was the most, it's a simple process once you're in it and you're like, okay, now I just have to replicate what I had done. But when you first go in there and you're like, okay, what do I do next? And you're reaching out to people, you're reaching out to the developers, you're reaching out to anybody. You're like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. Like, help me. And there's nowhere to really turn to because you're talking to bots online now. There's no people involved in these things. Like, it's bots, you know? And you're literally learning from somebody else who's learning at the same time you are too. So you're just like, okay, let's bounce these ideas off of each other. But I was able to figure it out, and when I figured it out, I was the happiest because the little bit of money I sent initially to test it, because you always got to send test amounts, was there when I needed it to be there. And when I immediately saw the money coming in, I was like, okay, perfect, bet, let's do this, But I love it going through these processes myself because then I can learn some of the nuances of these protocols themselves and these platforms and how they work and what doesn't work for them, and then I can teach this real world application to somebody else, which is what I'm doing. And the reason I do this because, like, I wish I received this when I first came into this space. Like, I swear to you, I was swimming in this wide ocean on my own, drowning.
Yeah.
You know, until you finally find your
We
footing.
had,
You're like, all right, let's do
we
this.
had to
I'm
get,
I'm
we had
Michael
to
Phelps
go
now.
through
Michael
this, right? We had to go through all this so that we could teach others, because really the ones that are this is the way I see the whole crypto space in general. You know, the jokes back in the day that it was like learn to code, and everybody got all pissed off when they said learn to code, right? We should have learned to code, right? We should have listened to it. If I knew then what I know now, if my instincts then were what they are now, I would have heard that loud and clear. I would have understood that to be much more significant than a divisive comment that it was made out to be in the media. And so you have these people that are coders, that are building these systems. They ain't got time to be out here training everybody, right? There's only so many hours in the day. So you get us, the ones that got awake first, that started giving this our attention, that have good hearts, that want to come together and teach other people and bring as many of us in to the space with knowledge as possible. And we all are just kind of lifting each other up. We're taking our lumps, and we're trying to protect others that are coming into the space by, helping them maybe not have to make some of the mistakes that we've made. But it makes us more well-rounded folks to try to help others, as we know there's going to be a tremendous amount of people coming into the space. And so, and I think it's funny, Mr. Rand, that you said, you went to school for economics, you didn't do so well in your class. And like, here you are teaching DeFi to people. And, because you're invested in it. And you see the future, and you're studying it with the intention to learn and the intention to teach. And then boom, we learn so much by teaching each other, right? We really do. Were you going to say something, Brooke? I heard somebody say something.
No, it's just echoing.
I wanted to add something. I wanted to say, one, I told my little kids today who are like 8, 6, and 5, I was like, so which one of you is going to become my coder? I was like, I need a video game coder. You want to make video games? Because I need one of those people. So I thought that was really funny. I'm like, for the first time, I saw my children growing up and helping me with my project, which was pretty cool. And I can't remember what the second thing I was going to say is.
That's a really good point. Well, and I just want to say, so I am building on the blockchain. I'm building currently on XDC. I'm not a developer. Yeah, I'm not a developer, but I'm kind of consulting a developer and like coming up with like a business use case for it's in the trade industry. Anyway, so just to be completely transparent with that, But no, what you're just saying is exactly right, Optimistic. That and what you're saying too, Melissa, like we should know how to code, and now it's going to be so easy. Like, so even though I'm not a developer, I'm using XDC has like its own AI, and you can like prompt it to like develop smart contract like interface code. And you can plug that into your own project. So I'm like, even though I'm not a developer, I can kind of like test the use case just like that by I would just prompt it. I'll get the website to go to, because it's literally just like an AI robot, and it will give you the XDC code to like build the smart contract. So I can just prompt it and say, build a smart contract that will, and then you can just prompt it, and it has the code right there for you.
That's really cool. And you know, XDC guys have the best coders, in my opinion, on the blockchain. I mean, there's some good guys.
But it's a great team. But there's even those things that once you kind of get in the weeds and you are developing your own projects, it's not a meme coin. We're hoping to, have a real use case, but we also need regulation. Like my project has now stalled because it gets really
for years because of regulation. I feel you.
Yes. And it stinks because I need to know what is a security and what is not a security. And so I just really need my government to get their act together so, this industry can just take off and run.
Well, I don't know if you all, we were talking about DID last week. Did you all see that the XRPL just passed the amendment and you can now create a DID on the XRPL as of like 5 hours ago?
I saw that today. Who was it? Vet. I saw posted about that.
Do you care to explain what that acronym means?
Digital identifiers.
Okay.
And
it's like a digital fingerprint.
Go ahead.
It's like a digital fingerprint. Basically, that's the easiest way to describe it.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
That
makes sense.
We are in this ladies group, and maybe we can get Mayuka, who actually wrote the amendment and wrote the code. We're gonna have to kind of bug her to get up here and tell us about it.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to have her on the show.
She's kind of shy in spaces because she does represent Ripple, but she might do it on a YouTube channel with us if we,
She can kind of lay out the land, let us know what it's all about.
Where it's not going to be 100 people coming up on stage attacking her, or this, that, and other things. She might do it. I think you should.
Hey, XRP says Stephanie is everywhere. Huh?
James is. I've been all over lately. I've been like Amanda right now. I'm like a sponge.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, who's singing that? It sounds good. Becky Forbes says the biggest problem is that our lawmakers have absolutely zero clue about anything blockchain building, use cases, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Well, it was 4 years ago.
I don't agree with that. You know why I say that? Because I think that there's a lot more people in Congress that are in this than they're really being truthful about it.
No, their financial advisors are in it, and they're just letting their financial advisors.
No, I think they're in it too, and that's the reason why a lot of this bipartisan, these bills that are now being backed bipartisanly, I feel like is not for any more reason outside of the fact that they're the PACs that are behind them. But I think they're in it, so they're not going to mess up their bags.
Exactly.
I'm just saying they're not going to jack their stuff up.
Speaking of that, couple. So I'm gonna let Brooke speak on this, and Mr. Mann, because Mr. Mann's gonna be going to the premiere. Those of you that watch Dippito know that we interviewed Maya, who's the co-owner of Fruition Productions, that they created the film XRP Unleashed that's due to come out. And so I'm going to have Brooke talk about that a little bit. But speaking about trying to front run what we know is coming, and politicians kind of knowing what's up. What do you say about that, Brooke?
Yeah, so I am in XRP Unleashed, and I am super excited about that project. I don't talk necessarily to a lot of the SEC case. Like, I talk about money and kind of the shift in money that's happening, and why that's taking place off of blockchain, and so that's kind of my portion. But yes, so they are going to be at the American Film Festival this upcoming week. So they're excited about that. So they're going to be, that's a kind of, it's
That's huge.
like Sundance, and yeah, so that's really exciting.
There
So,
might be buyers.
I'm so excited for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that is very exciting.
Yes, so
That's so cool.
yeah, they are. It's been fun because I'm learning along with it. And whenever I actually go to the premiere, I haven't seen anything. So I was the first interview that kind of like got it started. So that's going to be fun. But there's a lot of community involvement in it, a lot of like heart and passion is behind this project. It really is a passion project for Maya and Chris and their film crew. And so it's going to be fun. I hope to see, I'll be at the Houston premiere. So I hope to see people there.
Mr. Mann's
Oh,
going to
that's
be there.
awesome.
That's what I want. Mr. Mann, you want to talk a little bit? You were asked to go to the Houston premiere. And I wanted to go so bad because I wanted to hug your neck. But you're excited. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on this XRP Unleashed.
So my thoughts are on it. I'm kind of salty that I wasn't put in the documentary, actually. But maybe the next one. Maybe the next one. No, I'm looking forward to going. I'll check you out there when I get there, Brooke. Be nice to meet you guys in person finally. I kind of hung out in the background and don't. I purposely choose not to go to many places because I don't know what black swans are going to exist. And truthfully speaking, I don't want to get caught up in any of that stuff. But like when I got asked by Maya to come out to Houston, not to Houston, but to get some noise and generate some excitement for the documentary itself. And the way she had done it was pretty authentic, actually. Her asking me and then providing me some information about the documentary, and I was able to see some of what they were coming out with prior. So I was like, it got me excited, and because I was excited, I was able to pass that energy on through my tweets on X there, and I hope other people have caught that frequency I was putting out there. But I'm definitely looking forward to it because just like the rest of everybody else, I didn't get to see what some of these. There's still a lot that we haven't seen yet that they have, and I'm quite excited to see what it is. With the government corruption, with the SEC, with Gerber Gensler, with Mr. Clayton, with Willie Hint, like to see what they have, and to be vindicated, I guess, in this thinking. It's not like we're at a group think. We're each coming to our own conclusions individually, and to see that now on screen will be nice. And we're like, okay, cool. That's okay. I'm not crazy, not crazy at all. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a good time too, and to hang out with some of the people in the community. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I have pure love and dedication because I'm gonna be wearing this mask like all day out in the hot sun of Houston.
You're gonna be hot as hell.
Huh? Yeah.
Are you funny, man?
No,
I wish. You are so dedicated, my friend. I really wish. My work, I'm in charge of the company audit every year, and I was totally going to go to Houston, and I was told no, I can't go on a Wednesday in the middle of the week during an audit. I mean, imagine that. That's crazy, right? So I can't go, but I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. Some folks have notions of what they think that the film is about. They speculate what it's about. I've heard some folks say that they think it's, going to pitting one chain against the other and that sort of thing. And I don't really think that that's how it's going to turn out. We are in the time of enlightenment right now. There are so many things being uncovered. This is coming out. I wish it was coming out a little bit earlier, to be honest with you. I wish it came out before the election, personally, just for people to wrap their mind around just the corruption in our system. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on; it absolutely doesn't. There's just so much corruption that's out there, and so I hope that folks watch this with an open mind and understand that this is not one chain against the other or whatever. This is exposing corruption at the highest levels, and who suffers from that corruption? We do. And that's why I'm proud of this space every day that I listen to spaces and talk to people and read comments and watch videos and read articles and all of that, to see more and more people educate themselves on the future of the future of finance and crypto, and getting more and more involved in under turning over stones and looking and seeing what's going on in the world, because I don't know about you guys, but my perspective has changed a lot the more educated I become. And I want to say hello to Kristen Deck. Thank you for coming. And XRP Slave says hello, my friends. He hopes everybody's well. We thank you guys for coming. We have 55, good old 55 watching tonight, and we appreciate you. And if you would like, share, and subscribe, that would be wonderful.
I just wanted to add something. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So, okay, I was just going to say that I think you're correct that the film is more than just about XRP or Brad Garlinghouse or those people. Hopefully, whoever watches it who is maybe not in crypto per se can put on their critical thinking hats, because my philosophy has always been is, if you want to know the truth, you follow the money. And always the truth, right? But it takes work to follow that chain to find where the money is. And most people just don't. They're so blind. They go, well, I don't have time for that, right? I don't have time for that. But if you want to really know the truth, you just follow the money. And I hope people look at this whole premiere. I mean, I'm going to watch it later on. I'm going to order it and watch it privately because I can't fly there. Unlike you, Melissa, I manage a whole bunch of people. I can't just leave on a whim. But I hope it helps people to put on their critical thinking caps and look at the world in a bigger picture kind of thought process.
I want to add to that and say I think the real journey actually starts once the film comes out, if that makes sense. Because like we in the XRP community, we're privy to the corruption that the government, has shown us. Our eyes are wide open and we're still learning more each day. But I mean, in terms of each one teach one, most people don't listen to me outside of this mask here when I'm talking about crypto and blockchain, anything involved with that. So once this documentary is out at that point, that's the real journey itself. Like that's the real fight. And I say that because who else outside of the community is going to want to listen to this? Why do they have a reason to look for this on Netflix, on Prime, on wherever it is? The only reason I can see that would happen is because one of us says, hey, check out this video. I know such and such in that video, or this is what's going on. This will resonate with you. So we're the ones who are technically going to be advertising this. It's going to be like a word of mouth, catching fire, the network effect. And then I can see them after your friend or family, whoever it is you told, and they had watched it, they might want to tell somebody else as well. And then once that network effect happens, I think it'll go even further than like other forms of advertising itself.
Yeah, I hope people through it will actually see it as we need to start holding bureaucracies, these three-letter agencies accountable for what they do. They've caused so much damage in this market. And there's multiple reasons for that. And I look forward to seeing what those are. I'll be learning along with other people. So I'm excited about it. Because even though I'm in it, I'm not privy and don't know everything. But it's
I'm actually
exciting
interested
because it's very grassroots, and that's what's going to be the future for America, is us actually coming together and being like, we expect better from our government agencies. In fact, maybe we should have fewer government agencies, because the SEC is just unelected people and
mafia.
It is, and it's just absolutely out of control. And so I'm excited to actually be a part of a project that is wanting to hold our leaders accountable. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Keda? That was, I agree with you, Brooke.
No, I was just saying that, there's so many aspects to it, you know what I mean? And a bunch of different sides. And we have a lot of people that are just not receptive to learning about what is happening right now. You know what I mean? There's so much happening, and there's so many distractions out there right now, so that they can keep our minds off of what's really happening in the world. So at this point, we have to get to a point where our vision isn't cloudy. You know what I mean? I can say for myself, my rose-colored glasses came off about a year and a half ago. Realize I'm almost 50 and I still had rose-colored glasses on.
Didn't we all?
Okay? And it doesn't make me lose faith in humanity. What it does, however, do is it gives me a better filter. I feel like it gives me a better, ability to be able to see, people in their truth. You know what I mean? Because people are going to show you who they are. You know what I mean?
And you better believe them.
And you better believe them.
You better believe them.
Mic drop.
You better believe them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? And they will show you. They will show you. You know what I mean? And this is a valuable lesson to understand as we go into a whole nother tax bracket. You know what I mean? You have to realize that not everybody is going to be in your best interest to have around. You know what I mean? And, our lovely friend, Miss Namala, would tell us, you need to get your table in order.
Oh, I love you, Namala.
Yeah, me too. You know what I mean? Because she dropped gems. Gems upon gems. And when she told me to keep to get my table in order, I felt like that was very important to understand, because what that means is your circle needs to be tight. And not only does it need to be tight, it needs to be tight with people that you can trust with your life.
Yeah, man.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I say that.
Bam!
And I know I didn't mean to take it to a point, you know what I mean, where it gets deep and heavy. But at the end of the
it's
day,
true.
this is what we're going into. And optimistic, I'm a Sag. I ain't got nothing to do but to put it out there exactly how it's given. Truth, good, bad, or indifferent. That's what it is. And we have to start to look at that. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have a lot of sycophants that are going to come your way. You know what I mean? And especially with right now, we have our faces out there, right? We're not hiding from the world. We're trying to make it better, but at the same time, in us trying to make it better, in us learning this information, in us getting into a situation that other people haven't even thought or wrapped their brains around, you now are going to become the vocal box of that situation. And people are going to come to you because we have now given ourselves to the world.
Huh?
because that's what we're doing right now. We're giving ourselves to the world. This is on YouTube, XApp. This is
Mm.
wherever our voices can be heard. And in knowing that and doing that, you are now accepting the responsibility of being that type of a beacon for people. So
Mm.
I have to put that out there, because if you don't have yourself in line, you don't have yourself ready, this is the time to do it. Don't wait until it's here.
That is such good advice, Keda. Like we all do. We all need to get our shit together. And like Becky says, we can never allow these people to do this to us again. We weren't paying attention and they did it. And that is so freaking true.
But you are though, Becky. You are paying attention.
We are
Because
now. Can never do it. Yep.
And it's never too late, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if you were sleeping, you would know about it now. You wouldn't even be in this space. You wouldn't even be able to hear these words. You wouldn't even be able to accept it. So if that's the case, nah, you ain't late. You at the right time in the right space with the right people. Get out of my room. I love you so much. Okay, well, you need to figure that out, love. I love you so much.
I love you, baby.
Well, yeah, go on ahead and have your
Silver Day says smash the likes button. Thank you, Silver Day.
Dessert though.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Okay, I have like really quickly like 4 or 5 points. So one, for those of you who are Canadian, and also Melissa, I think you should come to Vancouver when they have it in the new year in Vancouver, and y'all should come to Canada and see me in Canada, because I live on a school bus, guys, and I haven't made my millions yet.
She has a second bus. She said I can sleep in.
I do.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So, but I do, but you have to remember, Melissa, I live on the island. So I actually live like, I have to go on a ferry for an hour and a half to get to Vancouver.
I can do it. If I'm going to Vancouver to see you, I will get there, my friend.
Okay, so that's the first thing. So then the second thing was, just so y'all know, for $15, you can get your pre-sale ticket for online viewing of the show on November 21st, which is the day after my 42nd birthday. So I'm like super excited. It's like a birthday present to me. And they're also, with that pre-sale ticket, you actually get the 20-minute prologue pre-dropped to you. So that's the next thing. The third thing was that, remember that this went from 2 hours to a planned 6 episode mini series back to 2 hours. And so, like you guys were saying before, like how much footage they have, like how much information they have. Because the thing is, just to go back to all you said, like, haters be hating. But I've known Maya and Brooke for 2 years now. And, to watch this thing evolve and see it happened from a very authentic, very grassroots space. And, with Maya, I was like, every time I talk to her, I'm like, you're giving people the choice. I believe that this movie is giving people a choice. It's allowing people to see through a veil that, like you guys were saying, that most people don't even know about. And so to provide a whole bunch of information about something that isn't even on their radar in a way that's palatable, and specifically, it started with her friends. She was on Spaces. She was on TikTok lives all the time. She was there all the time. And she picked 6 people that were real, that were authentic, that were honest, that were lovely people, and I love them all too. And I would have chosen those people too. And to see how each person told her about the next person, and then the next person told her about the next person, and there was no plan. And she would tell me, like, I didn't even know. Like, she didn't know. Like, she'd come back and she'd call Brooke and I and like, oh my God, I learned this crazy thing while I was interviewing this guy this week, and it's just like, what you're seeing is quite literally her evolution of her. 1 second, sorry.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I am super excited.
Sorry, my dog was barking at somebody walking by. I guess my kids let my dog out. And so she, so like the evolution of the the organic growth of the reflection of who Maya is. And she's actually writing a book right now, which I was really hoping she would release before, like while the movie was being released, so y'all could like actually know her story. And obviously she's way too busy, so she's hopefully going to release that next year. So, and like her story is pretty amazing. And she's been through a lot. And so this comes from a really, really honest place of what you're, just like we've been talking about this whole 2 hours, is that you're sharing as you're learning. You know, we're not coveting the information. We're not holding it back. We're trying to investigate for ourselves, and we're willing to share it with the wider audience. We're willing to share our relationships. We're willing to share the people that we you know, from when we first meet them, you know, what we think about them, and like how they make us feel. Like, that's why I'm on the Dipito show, you know, because I love Melissa and we talk all the time now, and like she's like one of my best friends on the internet. And you know, I think that this is really what this is all about. And then the fourth thing is, you know, stay tuned for the next episode, which is called Money Disrupted. And like you were saying, Mr. Man, about maybe being in the next one, right? Because like you weren't on the radar, and all the original social creators, they like, that's where it started. It didn't come afterwards. It started with the people that were on the lives with all of us, you know. And so now that like the community is extended and it's like getting bigger and it's getting bigger, you know, there's probably going to be more opportunities. And that I think that this is just like a seed that's like going to grow into something so beautiful. And I'm so proud of the two of them. I can't, like, I'm moved to tears every time I talk to her. I just think that she's the most beautiful person I've ever met, especially because I know her personal story and I know what she's been through to get to this point, to have enough confidence to make a movie that's willing to give you an opportunity to see a different side of something, and to see a different side of like all these, you know, creators and all these projects, and, you know, the hope. I think that we are all here because we have a lot of hope, and Jay always says, right? He's always talking about hope and how the crypto space, the digital asset space, you know, when you hear about all these horrible things that are like can control us, you know, social ID and you know, all social credit, I should say, digital ID, and like the control mechanisms, when you can see the de-dollarization and all these shifts that are happening, and you know the history of humanity, and you know that like hyperinflation happens right before, you know, the Second World War, the First World War, like these are all like ways of controlling us and demociding the human population. And so I believe that like what we're really witnessing is a complete shift in humanity to empower us to use the tools that could be used to enslave us. But the more of us in this ecosystem, the more of us laughing at the absurdity of it all, the more of us finding light at the end of the tunnel, the more of us willing to like be like, wow, this is an interesting tool that maybe I could use to build a humanitarian project, or, you know, like not waiting. You know, being willing to empower yourself and choosing you. Because like everybody always says, it's the distraction. Everything's just distraction. Like, what are they distracting you from? They're distracting you from you. They're not distracting you from anything else. They are distracting you from you being the hero of your own story, of having a hope in your heart, of having thoughts that are positive, that lead to actions that are positive, that bring about heaven on earth. And I think that for me, XRP Unleashed is literally the representation of hope. And it's a tiny little seed in a giant ocean. It's a drop in the ocean of the blockchains. And I think that this is the thing that like is going to catapult so many people talking about the meme tokens, talking about, you know, just the little things. And that it literally is like, Mr. Man, when you were saying about like, you know, the organic sharing, you know, that when you feel authentically excited about something, you want to share it with people. And, you know, that's how Dipito's spreading. You know, you're not paying shillers, you're not telling people to share it all. All the people here are because they saw a clip of you, Melissa, or they, you know, they follow one of us and they want to come and watch. And so it's really organic. And I believe that, you know, don't panic. It's organic. It might happen slow, and it might not be the way you think. And it might not be, you know, 5 years I've been working on humanitarian projects and I have like, you know, 8 people in my crew, but whatever, because the people that we're finding are so real. Like, you guys are so real. You're so authentic. And when I'm a millionaire, I want to hang out on an island with you folk. Okay. Thank you very much.
Mic
Yes,
drop.
ma'am.
Wow.
And P.S., Mr. Man, the only course in the 9 years of university I had and my high school and whatever was macroeconomics. I totally failed macro. And so it's so freaking funny that here I am trying to create these infrastructures for macro tokenomics. Like, it's totally, mind F.
It's wild because when I
I want
reflect
to say
on
hi to
school,
Crypto Shark, guys. We got the shark
Hello,
up in here.
Crypto Shark.
Sorry, Mr. Man.
yeah, I was just gonna say it's wild because when I reflect on school itself and reading those textbooks, those giant books itself, and not being able to apply what I had just read and understanding specific concepts and relating that specific concept to something I never seen in the economy before, and seeing how there's more than just you're looking for this one indicator. It's indicator upon indicator upon indicator, and when all the confluences come together, you can begin to see a picture. So like, school did nothing for me. When I finally went to AV, like, don't let me make it sound like it sounds really bad, but when I went to aviation management itself, like, it was fantastic for what I had been taught there and what I learned. But the biggest thing I learned from aviation management was how to learn, as opposed to what I learned. Because when I got my job in the industry itself, I had to relearn everything again because what I was learning was not something I had learned in school. So school was pretty much to get the document behind my name so I could go and do something that I've never done or even heard of before.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
It's the same thing with nursing. It's the same thing with nursing. You come out of nursing school and you're not ready to go on the floor. There's no way. The only thing a nursing degree is it gives you the vocabulary to be able to go into the institution you're going to be working for, so they can teach you what they want you to do. That's all it is.
Dude, Keda, I quit nursing school, right? And on my second last semester, that was my complaint. I was like, I have paid you guys $30,000. I have been in class for 7 semesters, and I don't even know how to put a catheter in. I'm like, how the hell are you going to put me on the floor, and you've put me in long-term care with dementia patients for 3 years? I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to put an IV in or actually take care of patients? And and this is what the whole system's done. It's not application. It's not the doing. It's the hypothetical. And there's a word for this: hubris. It's all hubris. It's all modeling.
I'm going to be honest with you. If I had not have gone to the school that I went to, I went to a school in Grayson County, and I'm not going to lie. I went to a community college for the first part of my nursing career, right? I got my ADN, and what I learned, and this is a valuable lesson for anyone that's looking to go into the medical field and go into nursing, right? You can go a couple of different pathways, right? There's an ADN route, which means an associate degree in nursing science, and then you can go with a bachelor's. Either way it goes, here's the thing, and people don't realize this. It doesn't matter if you go the 2-year route or the 4-year route, you take the same NCLEX, the same one, okay? So it does not matter whether or not you get that ADN or that bachelor's, you're going to take the same damn test. So you can do it in 2 years from a community college, get your registered nurse license, start working, and then go right back and get your bachelor's degree. When you get your bachelor's degree, you can have the hospital pay for it. Okay.
There you go.
So this is just a tidbit. And because at the end of the day, you'll be waiting 4 years to get a license that you could have gotten within 2, been already working, setting yourself
getting
up
that real world experience.
Exactly.
And your classes are easier because like what Mr. Man was saying, like, when you're in school, you don't, it's, some people are good at associating things with real world when they're learning, but most aren't. Most of us
need the real world.
We need to learn as we do and see real or be able to apply it to something real. And that's where I think those of us in the crypto universe, we've been applying it to the real world and these concepts when it comes to the economy and all these things. Like, I used to call bullshit on, the older I got, the news people that they'd bring on, the special experts when they talk about the economy or whatever, and I would be like listening to them thinking, well, I don't agree with what you're saying.
Well, real
like
life doesn't
like
say
who
that.
the hell is this person, and like why are they on TV? And then now, you know, when you get into crypto, you start asking like, what is money? And you go down that whole rabbit hole. And so now when you listen to these conversations on television, you can see it plain as day, the manipulation that they perpetrate on all of us. And it's just crazy. I do want to say,
It's
for
almost
you to know
comical.
says, for you to know says, the 5-year you from today, we're going to love so much more for the patience that we've had throughout these years. I promise you. I agree.
I have to agree with that.
We're going to be patting ourselves on the back and be so proud of ourselves for having the patience and the determination and the grit to actually teach ourselves about this. And we might not be perfect, you know, like I said, this show's not financial advice. You got to do your own homework. We might not be right. We might not agree with everybody that we talk to within this. We have differences of opinions because we live different lives. We're researching different things. We have more time to spend on one thing or another. But the cool thing about our group is that we want to hear those different opinions because it helps us all grow. And I commend everyone that came tonight, because I know that we don't all agree on everything. You know, this is, you know, sometimes when you put yourself in a box or a room where you're just like this echo chamber, you don't grow that way. And so I really respect every one of you and all of you guys that are in the chat. You know, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. And Dave D, just subscribe to our YouTube channel because YouTube knows what they like. YouTube knows what Dave likes. He likes the Dip a Toe show. And we hope you come back, Dave. We have a show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, usually lasts from 8 to 10. And of course, you know, we're running late because that's what we do on Dip a Toe, on Dip a Toe show. But
Question, Melissa.
what's that?
I have a quick confession. So
Confess away, my friend.
25 years ago, I got a degree in computer programming, but couldn't stand it. I hated every minute of it. I mean, nowadays, if someone showed me code, I could follow what they're doing. Like I can say, oh, I know they're trying to call this and they're doing this, and okay, this program, this subprogram is going to do this, and I can follow all that. But if I could never write it today, because like a language, right? You lose it if you don't use it.
EVA.
That's right. Yeah, it's like if you move from another country and you know a language, but you never use it. After 30 years, you'd be like, well, you lose as a child, right? You lose a lot of it. So same thing with computer programming. Yeah, I could look at it and go, yeah, I know what they're doing, but I couldn't sit down and write it. But yeah, I feel bad now. Now that I'm in this space, I'm like, oh man, you could have used that. You know,
you still can. Seriously, I'm going to talk to you after this. Also, Mr. Man, and the both of you better be in Vancouver, and so that I can actually meet you in real life. But yeah, you definitely can. And EZA, it's based on like, I can't remember the names of this, like C++. Like it's the basic language. Like if you know that stuff, it's like learning. You know, you learned a language when you were 16, like I did Japanese. Like it takes you a little bit to get it back, but the second somebody starts talking to you, you're like, it takes a couple hours, and you'll get the hang of it. And we all are at the very beginning, and I actually just, when you guys were talking about the education and the nursing thing, I was thinking, I wonder how many people are learning about hypothetical cryptocurrency and they're not actually doing it. And, this is the thing that's like, what's so wrong with the education system? Doing 9 years of university, guys. I know that, like, I could have saved a hell of a lot of money not going to university and just getting a job in the field that I wanted to be in.
See, and that's the
I want
thing.
to just
That's
say,
why I was just saying to you, you know what I mean? And I know you got frustrated in that space, right? You know what I mean? And the only way that we're able to really do something is if we decide that we want to go into advanced practice and become something like a nurse practitioner or a DO. You know what I mean? And go out there, or even a PA, so that
or build a humanitarian project on blockchain.
That part too. See, and the thing about it is that is the way to be able to tie it in. Think about it. We already have XRP Health on the XRPL, right?
Mm.
A way to have continuity of care that people weren't even thinking about in that internet of value, right? That we were talking about earlier on this evening. You know what I mean? Because and I know that not everybody is all about XRPL, but in the ecosystem, it's important to understand the ecosystem has so many more blockchains that can have the same things going on. So I think it's really important to think about that, and just thinking about wrapping the brain around value. The word value is more than just money. It's
Amen.
way more than just money. So
Amen.
until you can even wrap your brain around thinking about what the internet of value is going to be, and how your chosen coins that you choose to like fits into that, I think that's where people need to start really diving into, whether it's the metaverse, whether it's AMMs, whether it's, just being able to stake your, whatever you decide you want to have, becoming your own bank. All of these things are possible with the ecosystem that's being built. So
it's exciting.
It is exciting.
Mr. Man, you were going to say something, I think. I think
Yeah, I was going to say the Optimistic Prime. You can't just like speed past that you were learning Japanese as if it was nothing. You're like, yeah, I learned Japanese. And I was like, wait a minute. That's not an easy task. Like, I'm trying to learn German here, and I've learned 3 words so far after 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I lived in Japan. I went on Rotary Exchange. So I actually lived in France for 3 months when I was 14 because I applied to an exchange program because I was always poor. I was raised on welfare by a single mom. I knew that, like, my mom had big dreams too, and she didn't really make them happen. And so I always wanted to travel as a little kid. And so I knew in high school, if I got good marks, I could apply to exchange programs and maybe I could go to other countries. And I had wanted to go to Japan since I was 5 years old and learn about origami. I was like, this is the coolest shit ever. And so I ended up applying, and in Rotary, they pick a country. And I was like, I'm only going to Japan. Thank you very much. So I went to Japan for a year, and I lived with 4 different host families, and I can like write Japanese and I can read Japanese. And although at the time I knew about 400 kanji, there's like 12,000. So, I had like a tiny bit, and I could have a full conversation in Japanese. And I actually spent the year 1999 to 2000. I spent New Year's 2000 in Osaka, Japan. So that's like a little tidbit. And I mean, Japan is so fascinating, and like this whole BRICS thing, and the fact that they're already talking about how like by the end of 2025, all the banks are going to be on Ripple. Like I'm sitting here like, maybe I can go back to Japan sometime. Because what I think the most amazing thing about the Japanese is that they have found a balance between old ways and, taking your time and having, they haven't lost any of their old ways. They keep them. It's a thing. How to make proper rice wine, how to make a proper kimono from scratch, how to sit there and meditate with like the kinkakuji and like that's I looked it up yesterday because I was looking up the word for like when a bowl breaks in Japanese, it's called kintsugi, I think, and it means fixing the bowl by putting gold in all the cracks. And so that tongue twister, the bowl is more beautiful through the cracks. And kinkakuji is the word that came to me. And that's the golden temple that I went to on a bicycle when I was 16 years old and sat there contemplating the future. And I think that the Japanese have an immense capacity to, like, they had tiny little cell phones in 1999 that were this big. In Canada, they were freaking huge. You like plug them into they were giant, and they had like these little things. They had the like MP3 players before we ever did. They had like giant TVs before we ever did. But then they also had this historical way of like being, beautiful in the slowness of life,
And what's interesting? Okay, so you don't know this about me, but I lived in Japan for like 6 months myself. So yeah,
I have too.
So,
oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
What about you? Anybody else? Not me.
Brooke Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mush mushy.
Mushy, I tell my kids that much. So Melissa, when you call somebody on the phone, if you want to, call somebody on the phone and you just like lighthearted instead of like how are you, you say mushy, and it's so funny when you learn it. Mushy, yeah. That's so good.
Yeah. I lived out. Okay, so in a former life, I was a wedding singer, and so I lived in Japan singing for about 6 months.
Isn't that
And
badass? Huh?
and it was
That's awesome.
one of the best experiences I've ever had.
What
in my
city?
life. I lived in Mito, Japan, which is like land of the cherry blossoms. And so they have a huge cherry blossom festival every year out there in Mito. But I loved it because it was only like about 45 minutes on Shinkansen to Tokyo. So I was able to enjoy one of the best like vacations for like 6 months, because singing to me is not a job. It's something the coolest thing to do. And I was they called us the gospel singers, though I didn't ever sing not name one gospel song while I was there.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you were singing out there too, Brooke?
Yeah. It's so. Do you know Ibaraki Christian University?
Yes. Okay. So y'all had like the crazy Japanese gospel choir.
Yeah. So yeah. It's kind of a cultural like sub. Yeah. It's an acapella thing. I sing acapella. But go ahead. Anyway.
Oh no.
Hey, pay me
It's
an
a beautiful
XLM.
thing.
Welcome to Dip a Toe.
This is crazy
yeah.
serendipity, man. Like I believe when serendipity happens, like the fact that Mr. Man just asked the question and then you guys just told me that we all have this like little thing in common that's like so uncommon. And I think serendipity is truly God, the universe saying, yep, one story, one song, you know, we're on the right path. We're exactly where we're supposed to be, man.
And the beauty of it is when you were talking about how beautiful the culture is, it was so surreal to me. It really allowed me to understand just how narcissistic Americans can tend to be, especially when they're outside of the country. And I also got a chance to really understand the commonality between the generations, because you would see families that you would see grandchild, child, parents, grandparent, and in some instances, great grandparent, all at the same time in the same space. And it's a beautiful thing.
That's
It
how I
was one of the
live.
most yeah.
Yeah, that's actually so my yeah. I have a little homestead and a little farm, but it's all family land. So, you know, my granddaughter's great grandma lives across the street and grandma lives across the street and so like it's a whole village community and there's
I love it.
yeah,
That's so
it's really
awesome. That's
special.
so, excuse my French, that's so dope.
Well, when we all get money, we can all go to
Heck
Japan
yeah.
together on a
Yeah.
road
Oh yeah.
trip, or an airplane trip.
I died. I
I
died.
do
love
want to
it.
say
Ooh.
I do want to say goodbye to Stephanie. I feel bad. She wasn't feeling well.
Oh.
So those of you watching the program probably realized she dipped out. She was saying she wasn't feeling so good, but it was nice for her to come dip a toe with us. I really enjoyed tonight's conversation with everybody. One thing I wanted to do before we sign off, because we started this out talking about the first ledger. I wanted anybody that is watching that's interested in the first ledger. I wanted you guys to see. You could go to the website, and here's the funny thing. So the first ledger, when it takes you to the website, it says the cookie notice says, we use cookies to deliver a better experience. Our site will not work incognito or privacy mode on any browser. So I always reject cookies, you know. So when you reject it, look what happens. Oh shit! Hold on.
You get Rick Astley.
Hold on. There we go. Huh? A little Rick Astley, never gonna give you up. That
Hey, love that
I
song.
thought that was so funny.
That is
I thought that was
hilarious.
so funny. But actually, so what I did, I gotta reshare it again, and click OK this time. But what I did want to say was when you go in to the first ledger, let me get back there again. There we go. And then if you accept it, so this website, whoops, I got to put it in there. This website, it has all of the tokens that are on there. It has the leaderboards for the tokens. The documentation was what I wanted to show you guys, and hopefully, of course, it popped onto another window. Doggone it. That sucks.
Melissa will be posting her referral link, so don't go to it yet. Please click on her referral link because then she gets a small, tiny fraction of your processing fees for her effort.
Oh, thanks, my friend. Yeah, when you click on the what is First Ledger, it actually has a lot of information there for those of you that are interested. So what is First Ledger, how to set it up, the wallet setup, the new wallet, the funding of new wallets, how to buy, sell, all of that stuff is on this First Ledger website. And then if you click the link that I put in the description, that has the link that'll take you to the bot itself, which is where everybody is, trading their coins and buying these different meme coins that are being built on the XRP ledger. I think it's pretty cool. Always proceed with caution. But I guess my overall thoughts on the whole thing is proceed with caution. Give some folks some grace. So, if somebody does create something like Stephanie saying, she created a token and it was kind of a disaster. She had no malintentions, but you do need to give attention to what you're doing. Don't go all crazy dumping your money into something that you don't really know who the people are, why they created it, all that sort of thing. But it is definitely an opportunity for those of us that are in this space that are interested in learning what happens on the back end. If anything, doing the testnet deal to educate yourself on what goes on with the building of these tokens so that maybe you can be better educated if you do decide to purchase a meme token. That's kind of my thought on the whole thing. So I wanted to go around the room with some final thoughts because we are almost at 10:30 again. We're not going to do the old 3 hour, but Mr. Man's probably sweating bullets. So let's start. Let's start around. Let's start with Mr. Man, and we'll go Mr. Man, Landon, Brooke. We'll kind of go that direction this time.
All right. So one of the things I heard during this conversation as my last words here is that we're waiting for wealth to come and money will come, and it will. I assume that's what I project into this life, and I'm manifesting that. But until that comes, to me, cash flow is king. You can't stay alive without king. The song goes, cream. Cash rules everything around me. And I'm not trying to say cash is my life. But when you have access to cash, you have more options for your life. So instead of only doing a one-pronged strategy where you just have big bags and hold, look into other investments. Whether it's memes for yourself. I'm not into memes personally. I help out with some of them on the back end. But DeFi, to me, DeFi is king because DeFi brings me daily cash flow, right? That's how one of the ways I'm able to sustain myself not working anymore. I'm also a real estate investor, so I get monthly cash flow. I get Airbnb daily cash flow, and I have my DeFi cash flow. I also have a few other things I'm doing on the side. What you want to do is be like an octopus, have as many places where money comes to you. You want to be the magnet, and money comes to you. Allow it to attract itself to you. And to do that, you have to put it to work, and you can't be afraid to put it to work. You got into crypto, you've gotten this far. Don't be afraid to continue to learn, to keep going further. You didn't come this far just to come this far. I feel like I'm in church, you know what I'm saying? Like you did not
Amen,
come
brother.
this far just to come this far.
Mhm.
You've gotten this far, so what's over that other hill? Take the leap and figure it out.
I love it. How can our guests find you if they want to check out your channel or check out I know you have private groups and you have a lot of knowledge that you share with people. How do folks find you?
You can hit me up on YouTube. It might be hard to find on YouTube. I believe I'm shadow banned. I believe I've been shadow banned for quite some time there because I bring a lot of information out. But one of the things I do is I don't monetize myself there, so YouTube doesn't trouble me other than shadow banning me. But you can find me at Mr. Man XRP. I call Crypto Talk, Mr. Man Crypto Talk on Twitter. YouTube, sorry, and on Twitter my handle is at Mr. Man XRP. And I also have a Patreon by the same name, just at Mr. Man XRP. The Patreon itself is free to a certain extent. And should you decide you want to pay and become a paying member, $10 a month, you get access to the town halls. And in these town halls, we have lovely guests that come through. I'm going to drop some knowledge here really quickly. Optimistic Prime will be speaking in this group.
Yeah.
I believe it's next week.
Nice.
This week.
Yeah, next week, and I totally was gonna plug it too if you didn't. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be on his show.
Do it. So this week we have an individual who's well versed in maritime law, common law, the whole straw man argument. So that's what we're going over, and I dropped some videos within the group to prime ourselves for knowledge before this individual comes. The following, I'm looking to get. Actually, it's been accepted. I got T Spot coming to come chat with us. I got Sean. I have Sean of the XDC coming from XDC. He's coming to come chat with us. I got a jeweler. I'm going to be doing an interview with him at a jewelry store. We're going to be chatting about metals and where the technology is leading. I'm also chatting with Prop2. We got Prop2 coming to come chat with us about real estate. And one of the biggest ones, I have a buddy of mine who is like high-level banking individual who will not be telling his name, but he will be coming to talk to us about some of the trends that he sees and some of the market indicators that we can look for while we're planning our strategy. So I bring a lot of value for the $10 a month, and I want to let you guys know that. We're all trying to figure this out together, so I want to bring as much value as I can so we have the best shot of figuring this out and coming out successful.
That's fantastic. Simon says it's all about the flow. Yeah.
Simon as well. I do have Simon coming to come chat with us. Part 2 of the IBC Infinite Banking Concepts. Give a shout out to my man there because this man knows his stuff. He knows his stuff.
Very cool. Well,
do you know when that interview is with Simon?
Not yet. We gotta hash the date out with that one.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a great lineup coming up. I can't wait. I can't wait for those Friday nights. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Man, for coming. And those of you watching, please check out his channel. Definitely well worth the follow. Mr. Landon, Northern Living Secret Weapon. Any final thoughts for us this evening?
Well, I mean, that's a tough act to follow, first off. Secondly, I do agree with what Mr. Mann says. I mean, I need to learn more about DeFi myself. I know that I'm starting to dip my toe into it as well. But I mean, again, I'll be honest, before I got into crypto, I was a precious metals guy, and I still am. I delved in some real estate. I have a pretty good career. So I'm like him. I've tried to diversify my life a little bit so that, I'm not just a one trick pony, if you want to name it. But I guess and I'm not an influencer at all. Like I mean, I'm on social media just to follow people, but I'm not an influencer at all. Be patient. Don't let the bumps in the road, get you down, because it's really easy when we see those red candles to get all depressed that we missed something or it's never going to happen. It's going to happen. The charts are telling us it's going to happen. So just stick with it and don't get down. And even now, tell your friends and family. I mean, I did it for years, and I was in a space there for a while where I said, no, I'm not talking about it no more, because they roll their eyes and shut you down. But I've kind of changed my thought process and then said, you know what, we're getting so close. I gotta I can't keep it to myself. I gotta tell people.
One more college try, right?
That's right. I gotta tell them. So that's what I would say is, just be patient. Don't get down. Buy when you can. And hey, we're all in this together. I mean, I'm just a regular person like everybody here. I put my pants on one leg at a time. So anybody can actually get on dip a toe as well and give their story. So don't be afraid if come on and enjoy the crowd here, because they're really good people. That's all I have to say.
Amen. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, we definitely encourage those of you that are watching, if you are interested in coming on Dip a Toe Show, let me know. Email us, reach out to me or Simon. You can email dipatoeshow@gmail.com and let us know that you're interested, or hit us up on Twitter or in the comments, and we'll work it out and have you on, because we definitely want just the regular normal people coming on and talking about their perspective. We would love it. We would love it for somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about to come on and ask their questions. It'd just be fantastic. So yeah, great job. How can people find you, Northern Living, if they want to follow you on you're on X?
I am on X. Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's Northern Living's secret weapon. I don't promote myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
no problem.
I follow most of the people here that I'm looking at. So I've DM'd a couple of them as well. So, and thanks for replying back. You're always scared to think that you're some kind of bot, or what's the word is, are you ready for the currency reset? You get those DMs all the time.
The QFS system is coming. Join me. Give me all your money.
Yeah. So, okay. So thank you.
Thank you. Miss Brooke, any final thoughts for this evening?
Yeah, so recent spaces that I've been in have been talking about whether meme coins are good, bad. I think we established it's a gambling game, really. But I think it's important to, again, really educate yourself and see, the value that's being built and how. And what has value is a very interesting question to explore and research. And also, I think it's important to realize, so Northern, you were talking about how you had, some real estate, and you were a golds guy before, and now you're in the crypto space. And a lot of those communities, they argue about what is best. And what's fascinating is whenever you start becoming educated about this space, you realize that all of those assets are going to be tokenized on some sort of chain out here. And so this, once you kind of paint that picture and see what's actually being built and what's happening, everything else is just kind of noise. I don't really pay attention that much in price, just because I'm day by day watching announcements come out and partnerships being made and use cases becoming to fruition, and I get to have a front row seat. I get to build on that. I get to engage in a space with you people. It's so much fun. And thank you for having me on, Melissa. It's always a joy.
I appreciate that you came on. I always love your perspective. these conversations go so many different directions. And one of these days, like, I want to have you back on just solely to talk about economics and the monetary change, because you are such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the history of our monetary system. So if folks would like to follow you, how can they find you, Brooke?
I'm really just on X now. You just find me here. I just kind of post my random thoughts, and I do have a broader, like, macro picture of what I think is happening. And it's so funny because that filters down into so much right now. So you'll see me post about BRICS, you'll see me post about, cycles and world war and monetary resets, and they might seem like it's really sporadic, but I swear, like, all of this feeds into each other and a bigger story that I think is happening. So
yeah,
her name is Brooke Odyssey on X, and it's at Unchained and then a whole bunch of numbers. So if you find Brooke Odyssey and then it says Unchained and a whole bunch of numbers, that is this Brooke. Okay.
Yeah, I'm verified.
Thank you. That's awesome. Which one of you ladies want to go next? We're kind of going.
The lovely Optimist.
Miss Optimistic Prime, Miss Amanda Jones. What are your final thoughts?
That is me. Okay, first of all, yes, I'm very excited about being on Mr. Man's show. I feel very honored, in fact, very privileged. And so that's next week. Stone, we're not going to be here next week. Stone is on Melissa's show next week, and he is just sort of come out of nowhere. And I've been on his spaces like 4 times, and he offers an incredibly unique space. And he's an incredibly unique person who really came in, saw what was missing in our community, and has created a system to allow us to bridge between the things we don't know and the people that do know. And so I've spent, like, I don't know, a few hours on his spaces in the past, like 6 to 7 hours listening to his spaces, being on his spaces over the past 7 days. And I have learned so much, and I have connected with so many people. So I'm so excited about watching that show next week. And I wanted to warn everybody about scammers. So if you're new here, if you're on First Ledger and you type in some of these names that everybody's talking about, a fake one will come up. Don't buy it. Best advice for you on any blockchain is make sure, because I think that they should eliminate this, to be quite honest. Like, first past the post, you pick the name, you get the name, and if you haven't been there fast enough, you don't get the name. But you can have 1,000 of the same token name, and the only defining characteristic is the issuer account. And you typically should be able to find the issuer account on a website. Like, if you go to www.wanderingfootprint.org, I'm going to shamelessly plug my stuff right now, /but, BUT, you will find like all the information, our white paper, and also the issuer account, which you can just copy and paste, and then you'll actually know that you are accessing the right one. And for all the hype tokens that are out there, go talk to somebody you know and somebody that you trust. I'm totally open for you to message me and ask me, and I can send you to the issuer account if you're a little confused on like where to find it, because I have done my research. When it comes to scammers in general, it's more on TikTok. I do not have an imposter on X, but I have 10 imposters on TikTok, and they take my videos. They have my name, they take my videos, they post my videos, and then they write you. And so you think you're talking to me, you trust me, and then they try to steal your money by telling you, like, have you put your money on the QFS yet? No, guys. The QFS is the XRPL. Okay, don't let these guys mess with your brain. Keep your tokens directly on the ledger, unless you're doing the hard wallet stuff. But I'm not an expert in hard wallet stuff, and you need to talk to somebody who is. I will never message you. I will never tell you to give me any money. I have these tokens and these projects and stuff like that, but it's not that way. And so how you can find me, sorry, my nose keeps running. How you can find me is I'm Optimistic Prime on everything that's with a Y and the Mystic. And on TikTok, I have lost 4 accounts. So I'm Optimistic Prime 5.0. Everybody else, I have a couple other ones, but I don't really plug them because I'm only on, I have them so that when I lose my 5.0, I have backups. But most of the ones on there, if they're writing you, they ain't me, and they are trying to steal your money to ruin my reputation and to take your money. So please do not listen to that. And that goes for everybody, all the influencers. I'm sure Mr. Man has 1 or 2 or 10 or 20. They please be wary, because they really are trying to make it so that you don't have money in the end and you hate us, which is a pretty messed up reality to go through. But I also tell myself, like, I must be saying something right if they want to ruin my reputation and hide me from everybody. And then finally, warning. Finally, I had this huge reflection over the past 48 hours, watching all the drama and watching, what's going on in the world and the huge shift that's happening and like the election next week. And I wanted to remind everybody that the difference between fear and excitement is your perspective. And ultimately, they resonate in your body exactly the same. One is the anticipation of positive outcome, and the other is the anticipation of negative outcome. And at the end of the day, worrying doesn't change a damn thing. And so I would like to plant a seed in your heart and in your mind that your thoughts matter and that your expression into the world matters. And it's okay to get excited sometimes. And it's okay to believe in the most positive, highest timeline, crazy heaven on earth future. And even though every aspect of our lives has told us that's not possible, and these mofos are, the crazy mafia and they're coming to get us, there's way more of us. And there's way more good people in the world. And if I can just offer one piece of advice, is sit in the excitement that we are literally in the week of a dawning of a new era. XRP Unleashed is coming out in 2 weeks. The election is happening in 2 weeks, and wherever it goes, truth always wins. The light, it only takes one candle to light a room. And ultimately, I just finally want to say, Melissa, you are such a treasure. And it is just such an honor to be here. It is such an honor to be a friend of yours. It's such an honor to be witness to your evolution, plus getting to record my own personal evolution, plus being able to watch everybody here and their evolution. And it's just so exciting to be part of this and have a front row seat, and to know that, like, you are, you're at the start of it, and you're sharing this because you have such a good heart. And please let us all know when you drop your meme token. And also, Brooke, please let us know when you drop your XDC token. We would all like to know. And again, thank you all so much. And I hope to talk to you all soon.
Thank you so much for your kind words. I appreciate that. Before we get to my lovely friend Keda, I want to say thank you again to all you guys that came in. We have a couple of stragglers coming in. Mr. Paranormal 39 says, hey, everyone, love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you for coming. We missed Edward, I'm not going to say that right, Franschlowski. Hi, Crypto Pioneers. I apologize if I said your name incorrectly. And then finally, what up, fam? The Elgos brought me over, Mr. Garen Kang. Thank you so much for coming to the show. We appreciate you and everyone. Matt Riley's been lighting up the chat in here with good comments, and XRP Slave. We miss you. Thank you for coming back. And finally, we're saving the best for last. I know that then you're like, well, wait a minute, what am I, chopped liver?
Don't be like that.
But I did, what did I put? The insightful Keda. When I gave you guys all special names when I put it in the description, and so Keda, it's appropriate to be the last because she's the insightful mama of the room to school us all. What say you in the final thoughts of the show?
First, it's always a pleasure to be able to have great conversation. It is. It's a great thing to not just hear yeses and to hear. I don't agree with that. and here's why. And I think these are the types of conversations that need to be coveted. These are the types of conversations that need to continue all the time. And it's sad that we don't have more of these and it not be a yelling and screaming match, because that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful thing to understand and be able to have these types of conversations with great minds in whatever factor of life these great minds are in, you know. Um, so, and it also gives me some hope for our humanity, because they're really trying to steal it from us. You know, I think I had mentioned taking off rose-colored glasses because I have been wearing them for the first probably 46, 47 years of my life, you know. So when it comes down to it, you know, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for every day I get to get up and get another chance to make it right and to get it right, you know. So if I can be out here and just speaking forward about understanding what's going to be coming in the new financial reset, then that's what I'm going to do. If I need to have, you know, to inspire you to go out here and learn something new about something that will impact you and your family going forward, then yes, that's what I'm going to do. And so I thank you for, you know, giving me that opportunity to do that. I hope that you all will join us tomorrow as Melissa comes on to my show on X, and we get to have our space, keeping it 100 with Keda and the crew. It has been a safe haven to have, you know, people come in and be able to share ideas like the ones that we're speaking on here at Melissa's show, and, you know, to be able to know that I'm not going to allow there to be any type
Nonsense.
of strife or nonsense. You know, Mama Bear is very protective of her coven and of her cave. And I'm here to you know, have great conversations, not screaming matches. That gets nothing done. So with that, I want everyone to enjoy themselves tomorrow if they do celebrate Halloween, and to be
Oh,
safe
yeah.
and
Halloween,
enjoy
isn't it?
it. You know, for myself, my band does a gig every Halloween, you know, so we play for a homeowners association out here in Allen. And it's a blast because they all come while they're out trick-or-treating to come listen to us. So that's a fun thing.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it'll be
So
a
will
good
you
time.
have your spaces if you're doing that?
Yeah. Oh, crud.
We ain't
No, I
having a show
won't have
tomorrow.
one tomorrow.
I know. I was
I just
I
thought
was
about that.
registering. I'm like, I don't think we have a show tomorrow. It sounds like
We don't have a show tomorrow. Oh
But every
no.
no.
other Thursday.
Every
Every
other
other
one, it's
Thursday.
on
The
Thursday
week
at 8
after.
o'clock
Yeah,
on
it'll be the
Eastern.
week after. So come hang
Yeah,
out with us then. I just thought about that. Oh my. I would I'm
it's
glad.
all good. It's Halloween.
Hey, it is Halloween.
Spider
But be
Man, Mr.
safe
Man's
out there.
already dressed up.
I know, right?
Good to
So
go. Huh?
listen, just be careful out there. It's a different time as to when, you know, we all used to go out there trick-or-treating and things of that nature, where people were sitting outside giving out candy, you know. So just, you know, be safe, go in groups, don't leave anybody behind, and enjoy yourself and have a good
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
What's your handle? Paranormal's
On
asking. It's living best life.
Yes, yes, it's living best life. Yes. Yes.
So it's Keda 1211
Yes.
at living best life, and then some numbers, right? At the end.
I think it's 1974.
There you go. Yeah. I love you guys. So let's see. Garen's saying, y'all are on the level I can feel. Do you want to join with GDLT and Crypto Navigator and Marvin Davis shows as well? I love Marvin Davis. I love Crypto Navigator. I'm not familiar with GDLT, but yeah, we love you guys. All Uncle Buster. Actually, the special guest didn't the secret special guest, because obviously we have all of you guys are my favorite special guests. But we were going to have X on tonight, and Uncle Buster might have stopped in. But they both said they had children, they're taking care of their kids and all of that. And but one of these days we're going to connect. But this is the thing, is our communities are starting to blend together. I love them. They're all so wonderful. Everyone is so smart. The people that are coming together, and we come from just different backgrounds. We share the things that we know, and I always say I feel like we're being drawn together by a magnet. Our energy is just so strong. And every one of you that comes, just know that Simon and I really, really appreciate you all very much, and you guys coming to do the show with me, while Simon's working and helping me. It really means a lot to me. It's really hard to do a show all by yourself, although Mr. Man nails it every time by himself. But I just want you guys to know how much I appreciate you. And for those that are watching and you're new, please like, share, and subscribe. We do our shows every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, I want to just say thank you again. And we will see you guys next time on the Dip and Toe Show. Thank you guys all so much for coming. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.